On. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good Wednesday afternoon to you. What's going on? What is going on with you? It's Brother Clarence, and I am here. Let me shut all this other stuff down here. Uh, Glad to see you in the building. Glad to see you in the building. You guys know today's topic. Today's topic is, let's see, down here is Spookynomics, waiting for God to solve your love life problems. Um, yeah, first of all, let me talk about yesterday's live stream. Live stream we had yesterday. I want to thank everybody that came on the panel. Everybody did good. Rico, OG Patrice, Sister Sister Wana, everybody did good, man. Of course, Chaotic Truth and Mr. Rucker, everybody that came on, man. I appreciate all of you guys. One Community, everybody came on, and you guys can find their pages. Go out there and subscribe to them. I just wanted to talk about how to get our love lives in order. It seems like we having problems with our love life. Sister Inya, always in the building, always with so much respect. Thank you, Sister Inya. Appreciate you. Peace to you as well. Always with the utmost respect. I thank you, Sister Inya. Yeah, so we were talking about Brother Chaotic. I have to have him come back, or I ask him to come back and finish the topic because it kind of went a little sideways, but it's all good. We'll bring him back if he'll agree to it. We'll bring him back. Um, so today, I know you guys heard about Megan Good, right? Megan Good and her husband. I think, well, maybe you younger people didn't know that was gonna happen like that, but the older of us probably seen it coming. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna be hard to have a life where you're trying to teach people how to do good. And since OG Patrice, what is up? Greetings and salutations. Thank you. Virtual hug, virtual hug. Good to see you in the building, Sister OG. Thank you for helping me make such a beautiful show yesterday. I was just telling somebody this morning, man. I don't want no echo chambers, man. I like it when it's, we seriously discuss stuff. Thank you for that, Sister OG Patrice. Sister Wana, oh man, hey, bro, Clarence, hey, Sister Wanda, what's up with you? As well, I want to thank you for making this show very interesting yesterday. I appreciate you. Like you say, and I agree with you. We don't always agree, but there's always an enormous level of respect on both sides. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Today, y'all, we're gonna get into it about you know, are we waiting? Are most of us waiting? Or some of us waiting for God to answer our love life questions? Or are we waiting for anybody to come along? Kevin Samuels, whoever, right? So anybody to come along and answer our questions instead of looking within to see, okay, how can I solve my love life problems? What am I doing? I think most of the time, a lot of people, they just look at outside. They say, "Man, this relationship didn't work out. That's a bad person. That relationship didn't work. I picked a bad person. That relationship, that's a bad person." And they don't realize, hey, you the common denominator in all of this situation. Maybe, maybe it might be you. Maybe it might be you. All right. All right. So today we're gonna look at that, and we're gonna talk about how we can improve our own love life. But first, we got to look at how we got to the point where we're looking for other people. It's like, you're looking for somebody else to tell you the things you need to do improve in your life when those people aren't you. You need to look within yourself to see how you can improve your own love life. Raz Girl, peace and blessings to you, Raz Girl. Thank you for stopping by. Raz Girl is a new subscriber. Appreciate you, Raz Girl. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for stopping by. Appreciate you. Yeah, y'all. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna just I got a video that we're gonna look at, and then we're gonna talk about it. And after we look at the video, we're gonna discuss it a little bit. I'm gonna put the link out. You guys can hit me up, and you know what I'm saying. We can kind of talk about it. Appreciate everybody that came into the stream. This is a brother named Kev Hicks, I believe, and he has a YouTube channel. Very popular, as a matter of fact, very popular cat. But you know, some of the things he's coming at, it lends us to get to the point where we don't look at things all the way. You know what I'm saying? I respect the brother. I just don't agree with everything he says. So we're gonna take a look at it and see what he says about finding a match.
You can get legal advice or consultation, an hour-long consultation scheduled on there. But anyway, back to this video. How to attract a good man. I think the number one way and method to attracting a good man is to first require goodness. I think goodness is the last thing on most women's list of the things that they pick from a man. And I understand that. Sometimes goodness doesn't scream at you, pick me, pick me, pick me. Sometimes it's not exciting enough. Sometimes it doesn't build, sparks or butterflies or the connection I always hear so much about. But if goodness is the standard, then good men are the result.
Now, I'm gonna tell you right now. What he's talking about right now is not. I don't necessarily agree with. Now, some of y'all can say, "Well, but Clarence, you ain't a woman. You don't know what you're talking about." No, I've seen enough women. I've talked to enough women. I've been in the presence of enough women and seen how the game goes, and been an observer of this game to kind of see that the first thing you need to, if you want to attract a good man, is to kind of be good yourself. You know, he put it on, oh, well, you need to seek goodness. Goodness, oh, it's an echo? Oh, okay. I got you, Sister Patrice. Thank you. It's me leaving the mic on. I got to turn the mic off when I play the videos. Thank you, Sister Patrice. Yeah, so the first thing is you got to be a good person yourself, right? I mean, good people are attracted to good people, right? Everybody's attracted to good people. Good people are attracted to good people. Bad people are attracted to good people. But if you're a good person, at least your chances go up higher of attracting a good mate, right? Especially a man. Men are looking for certain things in women. Men are looking for certain things in women. You know what I mean? Besides, after first thing they're looking for is your appearance. And then after that, there's things that they prioritize as they go down the list of what they're looking for. But I can't sit here and say, oh, well, your appearance is not going to be important. That I would be telling a lie. That it's going to be important. Just like if you were a woman and you're going to be with a man, his financial state is going to be important. That's going to be something you're going to want to look at. His drive, his financials, because maybe he's not a millionaire at this point, but if he's got the drive to try to make things happen, then you could say, okay, well, he's in school, he's studying to be a plumber, he's studying to be a electrician or whatever, and he's got his own business in mind or whatever. Then you could say, okay, at some point this might pay off for me, so I can stake all my eggs in this basket. But it's hard to do it when a man don't have nothing going on. Well, men are the same way as far as looks. If you have to be now, looks is subjective. So some men, a little extra pounds is going to look good. Some men, a little extra pounds is going to be too much. So it just depends. Looks are subjective. The main thing is the person that need to be attracted to you physically, and then that's going to be the start of him starting to go through the other stuff on the list. Cheryl, yeah, Sister Cheryl, Yuru, hey, Sister Dawn, hey, bro, Clarence and chat and friends, Sister Dawn, good to see you in the building. yeah, so we're just talking about the spookiness of it, because I want to talk about where we're at now, and then how we got to where we're waiting on God to do something for us when we got a situation where, see, this is the problem right here that a lot of that I think that women have, and I'm gonna put the link out. You guys come on and correct me, but the problem is that so many women are there's so many available women nowadays that there's competition. There's a massive amount of competition. Whereas before, you didn't have to compete with as many women. You didn't have to compete with as many women. Women were staying in these relationships, even though they were tough times. They were staying in the relationships, but now it's a lot different. A lot of women are not staying in these relationships. One false move, boom, they're divorcing you. And so now so many women like that, think like that. The market is flooded with women. The market is flooded with women. Now, before you just had to compete with the girls in your little grade level or whatever. Now you're competing with women 10 years older than you. The competition is unbearable. And, a lot of women don't see it that way. But that's why I'm saying we're going to try to get it, and then if you go to, a lot of times you go to the church, they say, just pray. Praying is good. Praying is good. But praying only works when you actively you put some elbow grease behind it. You got to put some elbow grease behind it. Oh man, OG Patrice, appreciate you. OG Patrice says get those likes up and subscribe and share. I appreciate that. Free. That's it. Virtual hug, Sister Patrice. Thank you so much. Get those likes up. Yes, y'all, please, if y'all can, you know what I mean. Sister Wanda, I appreciate you. Somebody forgot to hit the like button. Get those likes up. Appreciate you, Sister Wanda. Appreciate you, Sister OG. Thank you, Scott, so much. All right, so let's talk about it. Okay, so let me finish up with Brother Dr. Kev, and then let's see what's going on.
Being attractive is the standard, attractive men are the result. If being rich is the standard or well paid, then a luxury man is the result. And there's a lot I want to say about luxury men, but it's not in this video. Some of y'all are looking for a luxury man. You're not looking for a good man. Even so, if you want a good man, then goodness has to be the requirement. And good qualities have to be the requirement. And you need to know what you're looking for. You need to know what is good for you. What are your intrinsic needs? What are your natural needs? What has been nurtured into you? What is natural to you that you need from a relationship? If you don't know what you need personally from a relationship, if you don't know what satiates you and keeps you healthy emotionally, it's not necessarily possible for you to find a good man for you, because what's good for you might not be good for somebody else. Good men are not one size fits all. There are thousands of good men that if they made you would not be good men, or that would not be good men for you. You need to know what your needs are first and foremost, and once you know what your needs are, then you can figure out what you can require or should require from a man in order to consider him good. Too many of us don't know enough about ourselves and our real needs, right? We understand the basics. Oh, well, I want a guy who's attentive. I want a guy who's manly or masculine.
Now we're going off the rails here, but you guys get the idea. Okay, so you got to get busy. Sister Wanda says faith without works is dead. Absolutely. You can pray all you want. You can go into the church and pray all you want, run up and down the aisles, and you can do whatever you want to do. But until you get up off your butt, that's the thing. The competition is, see, it used to be where it was not enough women on the market and men had to step their game up. Now it's the reverse. There's so many women on the market, men don't have to step their game up. It's a duck hunt for men. For most men, it's a duck hunt. And I mean, it's really a duck hunt in the barrel. The ducks are in the barrel, and all you got to do is just pick the one you want. Sister Colette, oh my God, Brother Clarence, it's a party up here again. What you got going on here? We talking about getting you a good man. You already got a good man, sister, but I'm talking about just in general, women finding a good man, and we don't want to use the spookiness of religion, and I'm not talking about no in particular religion, but just the spookiness of religion, saying that God is gonna do it. right? God will just magically make this happen, right? No, 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 no. We're going to have to put some work in, especially the women folk, because the game changed on you guys in the early 2000s. The game changed on you because up until the early 2000s, you guys were like, what's the word I want to put? What's the word I want to put? You guys were in demand, highly in demand, because it wasn't so many women leaving their relationships. But as the early 2000s crept in, divorce became more commonplace. Shot up to over 50% of marriages ended in divorce. So if you have so many women single back on the market, plus the already single women back on the market, plus new single women coming on the market every day, I mean, the market is overcrowded. The market is overcrowded. Sister Wana, there's too many more women in America than men. Ouch, 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 ouch. You know what I mean? The seller has become the buyer. Really, beloved sister, my aunt, how you doing, sis? Oh man, peace to you. Let's see. It's in-house stuff. All right. So that's the thing. So how then are you going to find a good man? Because right, that's inherent. That's like saying somebody wants a good marriage. You don't have to say a good marriage because that's inherent in marriage. You getting married because you want a good marriage. So you only want your marriage to be good, right? So you have to say, I want a good marriage. Of course, you want a good marriage because that's inherent in being in a marriage. But how do we find these good partners, especially the women folk? I'm just throwing some stuff out there. I'm gonna put the link out in a few minutes, but I'm just throwing some stuff out there. How if there's so many more women on the market than men, then obviously the women may have to do some things differently to come in contact with good brothers, right? You're gonna have to do some other things. And then the struggles of the inherent struggles in relationships. We're gonna have to handle those things differently. We're gonna have to fight a little harder to keep these relationships together, right? Because good men have so many more options out there now. They got so many more options. They can get on this dating site, that dating site. They can get on Facebook, Instagram. They can find women everywhere now. If you're a man, it's nothing like it was 20 years ago. 20 years ago, you had to go to the bar or the club. You can set up a week of dates from your house, from your telephone. You don't even have to go out of the house no more as a man. It's a totally different ball game now. So that means how are women that are astute going to respond to this new marketplace? It's a new marketplace. But a lot of women still think they trying to act like it's the old marketplace. It's not the old marketplace. It is not the old marketplace. Sister Patrice, do they want a good marriage, Brother Clarence, or do they want a good wedding? A lot of women they don't know what a good marriage looks like, so they just want the wedding. But they think the wedding is going to be the marriage, right? They think the getting married with the sunset in Hawaii, that's going to be the whole marriage. They not realize that marriages are work. Marriages are a lot of work. And if you're not prepared for that mentally, that's why Megan Good is in the situation she's in now. That's why these women in the situation, some of them are in the situation they're in. I'm not saying all of them, because some men are just, they just got sneaky streaks in them. But a lot of these women are just not. They got married to somebody not realizing the amount of work it was going to take to maintain a relationship. It's hard. It's tough to maintain a relationship. You know what I mean? It's tough. You got to be there when they're happy. You got to be there when they're sad. You got to be there when they stink. You got to be there when they, when they need your help. You got to be there when you arguing and you got to go out to or function and look like you guys are together. I mean, you got to go through a lot of stuff with somebody. You know what I mean? You got to be there when the children are hungry. You don't want to talk to each other, but these children need to eat, man. Somebody got to get up and make something. You know what I'm saying? Or the bills got to get paid, things got to get done, and you got to be there. You got to be there with this person. So a lot of women don't understand that, man. But see, I'm gonna tell you, Sister OG, back in the day, you had Big Mom and them, because I know when I was coming up, the black church was still a viable part of the community. So you had Big Mom and them could tell you, hey, they could tell you, these younger women, about how to negotiate through marriage. Big Mom and them are not around no more. So now these women are out here, especially the younger ones, they just out here freestyling. They don't know how to get it done. They just freestyling, and they think that being an Instagram model is gonna keep some dude on the hook, and they just don't realize what's going on. Sister Wanda, I call it fantasy. They fall for the fantasy instead of full commitment. Yes, the one they don't know. They don't know. It's not their fault. You know what I'm saying? I know in the manosphere they really jump on them and stuff, but it's really not their fault because they don't know. They haven't been taught, right? They haven't been taught, so then they get discouraged, right? And then here's the real. This is where they really get taken down the bad road, when they get discouraged, right? So they go walking in the church, and maybe they got a child or two in tow, right? They go into church because they want to start over. They want to say, hey, look, they say to themselves, I've been picking bad dudes. I know I need to go to church, and I find a good dude in church, right? So they go to the church, and the church will tell them, just hold on, just pray, sister, just pray. That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work in today's market. Today's market, it's not gonna work for you to just sit down. You know what I mean? It don't work. You gonna have to get up and go to work. You know what I mean? Whatever you think you can do to make yourself more valuable on the sexual marketplace, you might have to do that. You're gonna have to do that. So you can't just sit back and say, I'm gonna pray, but I don't have my stuff together. My house is dirty. I don't carry myself in a light that a man would feel, that I'm a good reflection of his philosophy. How is a man gonna want to marry you, right? Why would he? Why would he, right? Sister Wanda, I really think too much TV since the 1970 programmed us into the fairy tale. You're right about that. You're right about that. Not only that, but the women's empowerment movement, which I always say, it had a lot of good parts in there, but the overall part was that men are unnecessary. Men are unnecessary for to make things work better. And no, we're supposed to be with each other. I mean, that's the whole point why we're here, right? We're supposed to be with each other. You're supposed to find that person that you want to be with. You're supposed to. Matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put the link out here now. I'm gonna put the link out here now because this video is it's pretty long, and I don't want to go through the whole video. But I want y'all to understand. Let me put it like this. Let me get y'all's version of what's going on, because maybe I'm looking at it backwards. Maybe I'm saying, well, you know what? Maybe as a man been married for a long time, maybe I'm looking at it backwards. But I got 3 sons that's out there trying to navigate the whole thing. But maybe I'm looking at it backwards. What I see is a lot of women out there, and I see that a lot of these women have not adjusted to the marketplace. We got OG Patrice in here, and she is going to drop some jewels on us. Let's bring up OG Patrice. OG Patrice, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing fine, Brother Clarence. How you doing? Shout out to you and your chat.
Thank you. Shout out to you too. What do you think, Sister Patrice? I mean, do I have it twisted? Am I missing something? What's going on in the dating market out there?
Well, I don't know exactly what is going on for the younger generation, But I know for me, for someone that is middle age, now of a certain age and looking for something totally different as from when I was younger, the pendulum is swinging, this far to the left. And it's sad to say that. I think many things um, let the Black community down, especially. And I think the Black church, in my humble opinion, was one of them. I think the Black church misled a lot of couples because we were running to them for counseling when they are not licensed as marriage counselors. We should have been going to licensed marriage counselors and therapists instead of running to church. And a lot of people want to say, God sent my husband, God sent my wife. God, nah, not a lot of times, nah, that wasn't the case. I think that the falseness of that mindset, the falseness of some of those preachings from the pastors, was misleading to a lot of couples because the
Okay, so
women the women engulf themselves in the church so much in the Black community. A lot of them lost their husbands. That's why a lot of Black men are not in the church now. They engulf themselves more in the church than they did when they got married to look after their husbands and their children, because they got so devoted into the church. They was a part of this board, a part of that board, a part of this program, a part of that program. And it caused a lot of disparity in the marriage, because the woman wasn't there to really hone in and be the wife she needed to be for her husband, especially when they were younger and they were deeply into the church. And a lot of churches were kind of a cult, if you will. They had these strict rules and regulations about marriage. They put marriage couples in boxes. A lot of them misled marriage couples when they knew that some of them couples was in abusive relationships, but they but,
wait,
but
wait,
they
wait, wait,
used.
wait. Sister Patrice,
Yeah,
how did they mislead them? How was the church misleading these couples?
I know people that were in the church during the times when I was growing up. They was misleading them by telling them women they were still supposed to stay with their wives and they were in abusive relationships,
Wow.
whether it be verbal, physical, mental, emotional. Abuse is abuse,
Yeah.
you know and,
Yeah.
and and it was misleading a lot. When I was coming up, I saw a lot of things that were very, very sketchy. When you go to the church with certain problems, you are a faithful member. You tithe and giving your 10% faithfully every week. And then when you have a certain problem, they tell you to fall on your knees and go to Jesus when
Yeah.
you got a problem, but you were there for the church. You know what I mean? So I see so much uh the sexual abuse that was overlooked within the church, that caused a lot of ruckus in the Black community, in the Black church, because they didn't want to oust that pastor or oust that preacher. They kept sweeping things under the rug. I saw so much that
Wow.
the help destroy, as far as the Black church, that helped destroy and cover up a lot of stuff. And it's unfortunate that it's still going on today. And you listen, bro, Clarence, that white picture, that white Jesus, my grandmama, my mother, all of them had them in their house. Okay, all of them had it. We had this perception as a little kid that Jesus was white, that white was superior, and that was definitely a mindset. That was definitely a mindset to give young Black children growing up to thinking that it was a white Jesus and white was a superiority. And that's the problem with today, with stuff like when you puff up these images and people, and the Black church puff that up with that white Jesus. So let's just be real about that.
Yeah, yeah. See, and that's the thing, I laugh about that because I remember my Aunt Dia. My Aunt Dia had one of those. I mean, and you couldn't go near it. You couldn't go near it.
Right,
And,
exactly.
but like at the same time, it was just like you said, it was kind of like pushes white folks into another whole category instead of accepting that, hey, we're all same people. But that kind of deifying them and our people going with that. You know what I mean? So it was tough. It was tough. Um, I got some questions here. Let me go through the chat real quick, Sister Patricia.
Sure.
Sister Enya says what OG is saying is absolutely true. The wife listens more to Pastor Massa than the husband. You think so, Sister Patrice?
I absolutely do. I seen women agree with the pastors over their husbands, and it caused arguments in the homes. And it doesn't matter. It wasn't just the church. I mean, I had family members that were Jehovah Witnesses, that were
Right.
Catholic, that were Baptist, that were all kinds of religion. All of those religious institutes played a major part in it, and that destroyed a lot of marriages because they did whatever they felt that pastor or whoever said do, because they catered more to that pastor than they did to their own husbands. And that was to the detriment of the marriage and the community as well.
What about this one? Sister Wanda says the culture changed with feminism. Women stopped being home to teach the girls how to be wives. What do you think about that one?
I agree. I agree. When the feminist movement came in, chivalry went out the door. The whole women's lib movement with, I can do just as much, or equal to the man and all of that. And that's not the nature and the balance of things. It's just not. And when you are a woman thinking that you are equal to a man on the stance of the very nature balance and the creation, that's when our problems start to happen as well. And it was just that movement, the whole church movement. When people was having problems, they was going to church to get counsel from a pastor that was not licensed in marriage therapy or marriage counseling. They were seeking everything in the church to our detriment.
Yeah. Unfortunately, church at a certain point played a big part in the black community, but now they're on a deathbed. They're on a deathbed, unfortunately for them. Sister Wanda says, I think it's deeper than the church. People aren't getting married, and that's not the church. What do you think about that, Sister Patricia?
I'm sorry, repeat it again.
Sister Wanda says, I think it's deeper than the church. People aren't getting married, and that is not the church.
Well, back then, like I said, it was mostly that if you grew up in the church under a certain religion. Right now, it may be deeper than the church because the culture has changed, the shift has changed, the respect for the institution of marriage has changed, the values and morals of people have changed. So I would agree that all of that has played a part in it I would say, over the last maybe 20 years with the generational changes, from, I'm coming out of the baby boomer, then you go into the Gen X, and now you into the millennials. Every 10 years, you got a shift in culture. You got a shift in different things. And now we're living in modern technology with innovations and social media, reality TV that are influencing these people into this utopia of a fantasy of what they think marriage look like based off of what they see somebody else doing on TV or on Instagram. It's a whole different perspective now, and everybody's sense of it is different, and some of it is a little warped, if you will.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not necessarily blaming the church for us not getting married or people not getting married. I think, like you said, it's just a changing of values of each generation has what they put is important in their in their arsenal. They want this, and so back when I was coming up, what people wanted was character was very important. In today's world, especially for the men, character is not that much important. What they're looking for is a sexual attraction, and then they try to build everything around the sexual attraction. And so maybe the character is not there, but the sexual attraction is there. And because this woman can keep the sexual tension so high, they work hard around that sexual tension, like bees around the hive. You know what I mean? But when that sexual tension drops, they're gone. You know what I mean? So the relationship falls apart. And sometimes it's going to be hard to keep that sexual tension high all the time because you got things you're going to have to do. You're going to be mad at the person sometimes. Things are going to happen. So we have to be more realistic. But like Sister Wanda said, there's nobody really teaching the younger generation about all of this different stuff. Sister Inya says Jesus is an idol, but I digress. That's a whole nother conversation.
Right.
uh,
But
so,
bro, Clarence,
yes.
also too, you know, the other. Did you want to read your chats or something? You can go ahead if I cut you
Yeah,
off.
yeah, no. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. I'm gonna get to them. I'm gonna get to
Oh
everybody.
yeah, you know, also, you know, another perspective. Like I said, it was more so the church back then. If you grew up in the church. But now, like I said, when you have social media and reality TV, listen, it's a whole nother sexual revolution that has evolved within marriages now. When you're talking alternative lifestyles, you got husband and wives that are no longer being in one-on-one heterosexual man woman or whatever relationships. Now you got a whole movement with swinging. You got a whole movement with, you know, menage a trois. You got a whole movement with people doing things outside the marriage, the poly life, all of that. Like all of this is are in people's marriages.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And if you're more traditional like me and come from that one-on-one perspective of the institution of marriage, my perspective is different in the stance of what some of the younger generation are doing in their marriages now. I mean, you hear lead attorney all the time talking about the wild stuff that go on in the ATL. So, and this
yeah,
is an everyday thing in people's marriages.
yeah,
So it's a whole different ball game now. It's not the norm anymore, but it's a new norm.
yeah. See, but that is chalk that up to the, like you were saying about the values changing. The values have changed, and marriages are not looked at the way they were looked at when they were looked at as the. See, most men, the reason why you marry a woman is to you basically want to have exclusive access to her sex to her sexually. You want to have exclusive access to her because you know that if you don't marry her, then you may not have exclusive access to her. And so you want to marry her. And then on top of that, now you want to have somebody have your children. And then on top of that, you want to have somebody that'll teach your children. And then you want to have somebody that will, compliment you around the house, in your life. You want to have a complimentary person, right? Well, now it's about, you know, you see a lot of guys saying, well, hey, if she can't help me get more money, then she ain't, I ain't for. So you basically, as a man, looking for another man to compete with in your marriage, right? Yeah, yeah, it'd be nice if your woman can make as much money as you, but you looking to just say, oh, well, I only want a woman that can make as much money as me. That's you're creating a competition there, in my opinion. And when men and women compete, it never works out good. I've never seen it turn out good, look good, anything like that. But let's keep on. Let's go through these chats. Sister Colette, they still tell them that even when he start undressing your brother with his eyes. I don't know what you meant by that, Sister Colette. Maybe we talked about something a little while ago. Uh, Sister Wana, white Jesus did not cause divorce though. Unrealistic expectation destroyed marriage. Yeah, we not nobody knows that was really just me being funny on with the white Jesus. No, we're not blaming white Jesus for anything. The only reason why I put the white Jesus on there is because a lot of times us as black people, we will look to some type of greater entity to try to make our lives work better instead of putting the work in ourselves. Instead of understanding we got to put this work in ourselves. Yeah. So no, we're not saying that white Jesus had anything to do with the divorce rate or nothing like that. It has nothing to do with white Jesus, black Jesus, green Jesus, whoever. We that was just more of me just being funny, but putting out there how we can get spookified and be like, oh, I'm just gonna sit here. In the Quran, there was a there was a city that the people, they said we don't, they knew that the aggressors was coming, but they didn't. They said we're gonna just sit here and pray. God is gonna protect our city, and they got destroyed. They got destroyed because Yeah, they prayed, but they didn't get up off. They didn't get up to guard the city. They didn't do nothing. They just said we're gonna sit here and pray on these rugs until and God will save the city. That it don't work like that. Yeah, you got to pray, but you got to get to work too. All right. Let's continue. Sister Colette says, stick it out, stay no matter what. You know what? It's tough. You should, but it depends on the level. I agree with Sister Patricia. It depends on the level of abuse. If there's
I
some,
agree. Yeah. It's
yeah,
only certain circumstances you're supposed to stay in a marriage. And should nobody be encouraging anyone to stay in a marriage where they getting physically abused, verbally abused, any type of abuse like that. But abuse is abuse. And I don't believe that any creator, that any if to all believers that serve any creator on this earth will want you to continue to stay in that type of marriage. It's just not good, because
yeah,
it leads to someone hurting someone, could possibly on a deeper level, like deletion. It's been some serious offenses, as we've seen lately. You know what I mean? With things happening like that when women choose to stay. But those were the things that some of the things that was being taught in these churches and in these religious institutions, no matter whether it were churches or, the mosque or wherever, whatever the religion was, they were telling women to stick it out, stay with their husbands.
right. So I want to make this clear. I know in my heart that Sister Colette is not telling people to go out there and
Oh,
stay.
no, I know she not, no. And
I'm
I
not saying
think what she meant by her other statement was, like I think it said in the Bible, even if you look at, a man look at another woman, that's basically you're committing adultery,
right.
or vice versa. Yeah, I think that when you say uncovering with your eyes, I think that's what she meant by that.
All good, all good, all good. Okay, we almost there. Sister One, the lack of fathers in the home also played a role. I believe so. It's hard to learn how to be in a relationship if you never see a good relationship. That's gonna be hard too. Sister Colette said yes. OG Patrice, I agree. And Sister One says competition in marriage is out of order. Yeah, it's getting bad because men have gone from looking at women as um, a, um, a complementary piece to the family, and looking at a woman as a second earner or a earner. You know what I mean? They're looking at this person as, well, this is a complementary piece, and I should treat it as such. There should be some sort of respect and reverence there, but there ain't no reverence there because men today look at women like men, kind of, and that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. It's hard. And
Yeah, and the fact that if you don't have the fathers in the home, then how the boys are going to be trained to become husbands, and
back,
then the women stop molding the girls to be wives. Because I remember when I was younger, being taught to cook, being taught to clean, being
right,
taught to help set the table, being taught to set the plates down for my brothers, because and plus I was the oldest too, and you
okay,
know what I mean. So all of those things were like training for us, through our mothers, how to iron, how to sew, like all of those things are no longer like, it's like a virtue in the home the way it used to be. So like I said, all those traditional values that I was raised up is different now, because everybody wants want a different form of the way they raise their children, a different form of the way they mold in their girls. They're molding them more to be more modern. They molding them more, even though we were taught, yes, still go to school, get the education, but you still better know how to sew. You better know how to cook. You better, because you may be out at some point, you may be out on your own the first time you get an apartment. I mean, the first time I got my apartment, my mother come over, make sure I got pots and pans, make sure I got towels, all those main type of things that, that I think a lot of times, are being taken for granted, right now. And people are seriously, on these type of platforms, all other type of social media platforms, living their lives through other people vicariously. They are seriously living their lives through other people vicariously, and they thinking that they can mimic that life or mimic that relationship or mimic that person. And that's the sad part about the generations now. coming up, it's a whole different scenario because we didn't mirror, we didn't have that to mirror. We mirrored, our mothers, how we saw them be wives, our aunties, our grandmothers, we mirrored that, and sometimes to our detriment as well, because those women stayed in marriages they shouldn't have been in as well too. So it's a mixture of that, but the basic traditions of the cooking, the cleaning, the sewing, the ironing, all of those things. Yeah, I watched my mother do those things that taught me how to do those things to make me self-sufficient. I had to set the table. I had to serve, the plates and put the plates down that my younger brothers was going to eat. All of that, not knowing, unbeknownst to me, that was a form of training, right? So I can know how to serve my husband when I did get married.
Sister Patrice, let me ask you a question. So, you said something. You mentioned a modern woman. What, in your opinion, is a modern woman? Like, what is a modern woman?
Like I hear what Cardi B say, like she don't cook, I don't clean, like literally you bragging about that in songs.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, right. but when you wealthy, you could afford to get somebody to do that for you. But what about the average woman? What about the everyday common woman that works a regular job, that's raising a regular family and have a regular husband? Is she gonna be sit up there telling her husband, I don't cook, I don't clean?
It happens.
It's crazy.
Right? So, in your opinion as a woman, if you're a man, if a man has a wife that doesn't cook and doesn't clean or doesn't compliment him around the house, what would be his alternative, or what would be something he should do about that?
Well, I know, like back when I was coming up as a kid, my mother did not know how to cook when she married my father. My father was actually the cook. My father taught my mother. So there were certain things that my mother was good at, the cleaning, the washing, the sewing and all of that. She did all that. But once my father, who was a chef, taught my mother how to cook, then she became like that full-fledged wife that he wanted, because he had to go to work. So he getting up at 4:00 in the morning to go to work. So he can't cook the meals every day. My mom was a housewife for a long time when she was married to my dad, before she went out into the work world. So by the time my dad got home, that hot meal was there, was ready. And again, like I said, we sat down at the table. Families don't do that no more. We actually sat down at the table as a family and had conversations. How often do you see that happening? And so a lot of that has gone out the window with the modern woman. You know what I mean? That sit down and actually have a conversation with her husband and her children at the table and talk about their day, talk about the husband's day, talk about the children in school and their friends. Like, none of that rarely happens anymore.
Yeah, it's hard because nobody's really seen that in a long time. But I remember I was asking this question: what should a man do if the woman don't do anything, compliment the man around the house? This is Colette said he should run. Oh man, Mr. Rucker says modern women need prenups. What do you say about that? As a modern woman, does a modern woman need prenups?
Yes, I think everybody should protect themselves. If you have any type of assets that you want protected, that's modern women and men. They both should. If you have assets that you want to protect, that you had prior to meeting your husband or your prospective wife, you should also. I agree with the prenup. I have no problem with that.
Right. Now, why do you think so many the younger females have an issue with the prenuptial agreements?
Again, it has a lot to do with them living their lives through what they see on reality TV and some of these female rappers and social media. I think a lot of them thinking that the way to come up to get the bag off the man is to marry him without a prenup if she can, and drop some babies here or there so she can collect a large check for child support. I think, and again, you see Instagram models doing this. You see, I mean, it's all over the social media platforms, and I think that is causing a mindset for a lot of young ladies, that thinking that that's the way to come up, without having to work hard for it like anybody else does. But
Yeah.
men fall into the trap. A lot of men, they fall into the trap. I mean, look at all the sports athletes that fall into that trap. A lot of rappers fall into that trap. So what examples do they have of what they looking at on social media, on TV, in reality TV? This is what it's showing them. It's not showing them the morals and the values and the scruples that you and I may have grew up off of. It's a whole different generation of a mindset now.
Right, right. And that's the bad part about it, because let's say like Steven Jackson, we talked about yesterday, where he brought the prenup to the girl a long time, months before the wedding. And he said, hey, you got to sign this prenup. You got to sign it. She kept putting him off. Yeah, I'll sign. Finally, it's the day. I mean, they're at the wedding. And he's like, hey, you got to sign this before we can get it married. And she says, well, I'm not going to marry you if I have to sign that at the wedding, right? So,
well, remember too, he also said she had started crying and was like, well, I'll sign it. But somebody was there. I think he said a friend or somebody that was attorney that told him, no, do not let her sign it, because she can come back later and say, he made me sign it under distress, and it could have been thrown out. If you have a person that signs a prenup under any type of pressure or distress, it can be thrown out, and that person can lose, man or woman, whoever is signing under distress. They can use that and say, he pressured me. I was crying. I was emotional. I was in my feelings. I felt so much pressure. Like, that's real. Like, that's a real thing.
Yeah. Dr. Dre's wife's doing it now. Yeah. She just did that. She just spent the last year doing that. Yeah, that is very real. Mr. Rucker says the jig is up with modern women. Men are starting to ask questions and protecting themselves. Sister Patrice, do you think that it's wrong for men to go into a marriage and protect themselves? Do you think is there anything wrong with that?
Not at all. I don't. Like I said, especially if the man have wealth and assets prior to meeting that woman, because the ulterior motive for wanting to be married is for the very institution of what it stands for, not of what a person has, right? So what does that look like? It depends on your marriage and what you discussed prior to marriage. Do you want to procreate and have children? Do you love that person? Do you want to build with that person? So both parties, even the female, she coming in with assets and wealth, she should protect herself as well.
Exactly. I don't think anybody should. And it's not. It's just the way the marriage laws are set up now, that it's a free for all, and you should give the judge, in the unfortunate event that a marriage doesn't work, you should give the judge a kind of a roadmap that everybody has already agreed to, so that he can work from there, as opposed to letting him just decide what to do. Because, like I said, I'm in California, and in California, it's no fault.
Oh, yeah, no fault. It's an automatic 50-50 regardless, just like Arizona, just like Nevada, and just like New York.
If you don't have nothing, a prenup or anything like that, they bam, okay, you make the most money, boom, half of your stuff going to her, and then and she gets the children. I mean, that's pretty much how it happens, like 80-90% of the time.
Absolutely.
So let's go down the list here. Sister Wana says they want the fairy tale, and a prenuptial is too much reality. It's too much reality. Like you have to sit a person down and say, okay, we want to get married. Let's discuss these items, so that we can get and a lot of women, I think, don't want that covered, because they want to have the open-ended way to be able to, like you said, cover their losses in case the marriage don't work. They can cover their losses with the man's assets. I don't think men go in like that, but a lot of times women do, and it's sad. It's sad sometimes. Mr. Rucker says, I like the way Patrice thinks. I do too. She got the right mindset. Unfortunately, how can we get her to put this brain into most of these younger women? How can we do that? How can we do that, Mr. Rucker? Difficult Light says, that's why you sign a prenup with a witness. Oh yeah, it's a whole strategy for setting up a prenup. You go to attorneys and stuff. It's a whole strategy for it. Difficult Enlightened. So yeah, definitely. Difficult Enlightened, pretty straightforward. Yeah. You got to go to get the right kind of attorney, because the attorney's going to tell you what to put in there and what not to put in there, so that it'll make sense, and the judge won't just look at this and say, "Hey, this is a crazy piece of paper. No, I'm not doing this."
But
So
when a witness can't be available, the both parties should protect themselves by having their own separate attorneys.
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Because you can set up a meeting for the prenup, and once you go back and forth, some things get omitted, some things get added, some things get revised, some things get amended. So you may go back and forth for a while, depending, because that's also, you can have certain clauses put in to the prenups to protect each other as well. Once you come to that happy medium, she comes with her attorney, you come with yours, you sit at the table, and now it's settled, and you guys don't need a witness. As long as your two attorneys there and all parties agree, boom, there it is.
I would not. I would not sign a prenup without an attorney present. I would never do
Absolutely.
that.
The
I would never.
attorneys is more important than the witness, because
Exactly.
I think it should be two attorneys, one for her and one for you.
That's what the lead attorney said, and I agree with him wholeheartedly, because a witness will sign on something that may not be, a judge may throw out. See, the attorney's going to tell you, hey, this clause right here, judge is going to throw the whole piece of paper away because you said this. So no, we an attorney's going to go through it and make sure that it makes sense, so that when a judge sees it, a judge is not going to throw it out. A witness would just sign it. And you need your own attorney. She needs her own attorney. You go to your
I
attorney
agree.
and you say, "This is what I want to protect. This is how I want to protect it."
Because
And
let's be real. Your friend is gonna be more biased towards you. My friend is gonna be more biased towards me. Is that not right?
yeah, you're right.
But attorneys are level headed, logical thinkers, and they create the balance, and they're gonna get things in order the way it should be, because they're gonna go back and forth with each other. That's what we pay them for. They represent us both to come to that happy medium. They'll go back and forth. It could be what, a month, 2 months, 6 months, but when it's time, before marriage or whatever. That's why it's good to sit down. That now for me, that is the business part of the marriage, right? And once you can get the business part of the marriage out, then you can work on the institution of the marriage. If you want children, who wants to start a business, who wants to go back to school, who wants to be stay at home, because we got daddy staying at home too. Some women are the breadwinners. I mean, it depends
Right.
on the situation. So everybody's situation is uniquely different.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But that's what I'm saying. But there's two parts to the marriage. There's the business part, and then there's the relationship part. And
Exactly.
people forget about the business part, or the men forget about the business part. Women think about the business part, but they just don't bring it up right away, right? Because they expect you to just go into it flying blind. A lot of times, I'm not saying every woman's like that, but a lot of times they expect us. And so what we do is, we don't want to make it. We don't want to make no problems with each other. So we do this it's a clinical term called avoidance coping, where people deal with stuff by avoiding it, right? Like a hot
Mm-hmm.
head in the ground. We just avoid it, so that, and then it comes up and it's a raging situation. It's like you got a cold and you don't take care of the cold, and now you got pneumonia. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's a raging situation. Now it's going to require a lot more work to deal with than it would if you had just pop some of those vitamin C pills or something, so that you could dealt with the cold, right? My thing
Mm-hmm.
is this. Um, even if marriage is business, and I say to young men, I say, where's the brother said Jesus is black? He might be, man. He might be. I don't know. You got a picture. The only pictures I saw most of the time was white. So, but if you got a if you got a picture of a man, I'll take a look at it. Yeah. So I tell a lot of young men that every time you sign in something, it's business. Now, let me ask you this, OG Patrice. Should men get a DNA test at every live birth? I think they should, but I want to hear your opinion on that. What do you think about that?
You mean once they marry to the
Whether
one
they're married or not,
to the woman?
whether they're married or not, if they're suspected to be the father of the child and
Hmm.
they're present at the live birth, should they get a DNA test?
Yeah, I believe that's fine if that's what they want, because if the woman has nothing to hide and if she's not cheating, I mean, I don't understand what the problem is. When people resist stuff like that, it's
Yeah.
because of ulterior motives, in my humble opinion. It's because ulterior motives that they may have. If you are straight up and on the table, you should not have no problem doing a prenup. You should not have no problem with if a man want a DNA. Listen, and again, it depends on the marriage. Because if you got an open marriage, is not the probability of you getting pregnant by another man.
Man.
So let's just be real about that. You know what I mean? So, it's ulterior motives. What are people ulterior motives behind, the reason why they resist doing things?
But that's the thing. That's why I'm asking you as a woman.
That's what yes, that's why I'm saying, listen, I know someone personally in my family that led a man to believe for years that a child was his and he was paying child support. And people, outside people kept saying, man, you need to get that DNA. He finally got it. And sure enough, the child was not his. And I think my niece, about time he found out, my niece, I think, was about 9 or 10 years old, but he had been paying child support all in years. So if somebody else may be outside and this is why I say sometimes when it's your friends and your family that's close to you, that love you, that knows you and know the other person and the personality, they may know something you don't know because you so caught up in the relationship, you can't see past your feelings, right? So if you got family members saying, I think you should get a DNA, I think you should get a DNA,
Yeah.
it's nothing wrong with that. But I know that a lot of times men don't fight that, and they should. I absolutely think they should. But they'll be like, nah, man, it's mine.
Right.
Man, that's because you knew you was hitting it, but do you know if anybody else was?
Well, they don't want to offend the woman, so that's what they do. Let me see
Yeah.
if I can get some of these comments real quick, Sister Patrice. Sister K, Brother K says, read Revelations, Clarence. It breaks Jesus' real phenotype. I got you, brother. I got you, brother. I'm up here clowning a little bit. I got you. Brother Case, most deaf men should get a DNA test when the baby is born. Absolutely. See, there's the fun of making a baby, and then there's the business of having a baby. There's two sides to everything, right? In America, there's a contract for just about everything, and so you need to be prepared. If you have to sign a birth certificate, that's business, and so the business of having a baby means you need to do the business, which is making sure that that is your child, and that is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Difficult, difficult
Because
things.
that child can become the business part for a man when it comes to child support and custody. It's
It
so
will
it's so important.
it will be,
It,
and you want to make sure
absolutely.
it's your child. I mean, we have no problem paying for our own children, right? It's us paying for some other dude's children. That's going to be the issue, right? That don't even happen in the animal kingdom. In the animal kingdom, a new lion comes in. First thing he do, what does he do? He kills all the old lion's cubs, right? He kills all his cubs. Why? Because he's not gonna work to protect another man's bloodline. You know what I mean? So he's going to make sure that all of those cubs in that pride are his, right? So nowhere in the animal kingdom do they do that. Take care of other other males' offspring, except for maybe I think penguins might do it just because the low number of women available. But other than that, they really don't. They really most of the time don't do it. We will do it as human beings, but that's cool if I know up front. If I know up front this is not my child and I'll take care of it, that's a whole nother ball game. But
Right.
I get tricked into doing that. That's not good.
And listen, I know so many women back when I was coming up, women was doing it, and they still doing it now. Right to this day, they got men are paying child support and raising children that they think is theirs, that is not theirs. Why you think it was so many of these TV shows regarding is the daddy, are you the daddy or not?
Yeah, and they finding out, and it's
You
always
are not the father.
they doing flips all across the stage, right? But it's always the mama. It's always that boy's mama that says, you know what, son, this is. Matter of fact, I got a story. My neighbor, man, I miss them, dude. They moved to Texas, but they were some good people. They was from El Salvador, right? And so, her son was about one, close to my oldest son's age, and he was probably around 19 or maybe 19 or 20, somewhere in there. And so he had this girlfriend. This chick was hot like a firecracker, right? And so she already had one baby from another guy when she moved into their house. He moved her into the house and everything, right? So the mother couldn't stand this chick. So she got pregnant, and the mother was like, "Hey, get a DNA test, get a DNA test, get a DNA test." And he was like, "Nah, I don't need no DNA test. She only been with me, even though she had been back and forth with the boyfriend or whatever." So come to find out, the second baby wasn't his as well. I was like, man, and she'd been living there almost a year and everything. But the mama, how they found out, the mama snuck and did a DNA test, swabbed the baby and everything, and sent it in. And when it came back,
Wow.
he wasn't the father, but he still stayed with her. He
Yeah.
still stayed with
So
her.
it's scenarios like that
Yeah,
difficult in like this. So it's scenarios just like bro Clarence is explaining now, because I'm telling you, if women have listen, like lead attorney said, the moose lady almost set him up. She knew she was
yeah,
pregnant. She was trying to find a victim
yeah,
to pin that baby on.
oh
And
yeah,
women do this. They unfortunately, and because the men be, well, I trust her, and I know the man know he's sleeping with her, but you don't know if that woman is already pregnant,
yeah,
already, and trying to get you trapped up. She could be 3 or 4 weeks pregnant and know it. And see, and men don't count. Men don't do the count like like a woman do. What women can have things so planned,
right,
so coordinated to trap men. And that's why a lot of men are raising children that they think are they blood children, and they are not. And a lot of them are finding out long after the child is grown, and they are no longer paying child support, and they didn't, and by then it's too late anyway. So what you gonna do, right? You done did it. You done raised the child. The child is yours. But to know that, I've seen the hurt on men faces on those shows when they
yeah,
find out that the child is not theirs. They cry, they break down. I
yeah,
mean, this is a real thing that women do when they know they've been slept with more than one man in a certain period of time.
yeah, yeah. And it's and you never know. You never know how somebody's handling something like that. You never know. See, like you said, you can't follow no woman around. I mean, I know they got trackers in the phone and everything, but if you really feel like you got to put a tracker in your woman's phone, why are you even with her? I mean, why be with her if you got to go through her emails, go through her phone, go through her car, go through her purse, go through all, if you got to do all that, why are you even with her? I mean, if you I could see if you said, hey, maybe this girl is stealing from me or something like that, but if she ain't, you just don't trust her, man, just let her go. That's what I say. Anyway, let me get down to difficult and like, why would he want to get a DNA test? Of course, you want to get a DNA test to make sure you are actually the father of the baby. I mean, you don't want to take care, like Sister Patrice just broke the whole thing down and said, hey, why would you want to take care of another man's child if you thought that it was yours? You know what I'm saying? Taking care of another man's child, being a stepfather, shout out to the stepfathers. When you know up front, hey, that's a whole nother ball game. But when you don't know, when you've been tricked into doing that, no, that's not cool at all. Sister Wana, of course you should get a DNA test of the child, married or not. Yeah, absolutely, Sister Wanda, absolutely. These streets are too rough for you to be out here playing. And like I said, marriage, that is a contract. You got to sign that. There's a contract, right? A birth certificate is a contract. Do you know what a birth certificate is? You know how the state looks at a birth certificate. The state looks at a birth certificate as you authorizing the state to be able, if the state feels that the state is like a quiet person overlooking the situation for this child. That's what you're doing when you sign a birth certificate. You are authorizing the state to overlook the safety of this child. If the state finds that the safety of this child is threatened, you're authorizing the state to be able to step in and put that child somewhere where they feel that it's a safer place for them. That's what you're doing when you sign a birth certificate. So if that's business, then this is business. The DNA test is business. You need to have that taken care of at every live birth. And I know some women are going to say, "What? You don't trust me?" It's not that I don't trust you. It's not about that, right? If you have nothing to hide, what's the point, right? What's the problem? Let's go ahead and get this done, right?
Absolutely. I mean, if the woman knows she's only sleeping with that man, she shouldn't have, it shouldn't even be an issue. It really shouldn't. But if there's resistance there, or she want to act like she all upset that you even asking her, I will question the agenda. And men a lot of times know that if they are sleeping with a woman, it is a probability that she probably is sleeping with somebody else too. And let's be real about it. Women cheat too, men.
Yeah.
Hello.
At almost the same rate. At almost the same rate. Yep.
So I mean, and I'm telling you, I have witnessed, grew up watching these type of scenarios, and I told you just as recent, I have a niece. Listen, my niece did that to her, to the guy she was with for years. Had that man thinking that my niece was his, and he was paying child support, signed the birth certificate, the whole nine. But his family leaned on him. His family leaned on him.
Right.
And he finally, when he came and picked her up for the weekend, they went and did the DNA. That's how that man found out.
Oh, man.
So if you have any reservations in your mind, men, any reservation, if you know you are sleeping with a woman and it's a probability, it's smallest probability that she could be sleeping with somebody else. If you have the smallest thought in your mind, and it could be your wife, that she might be cheating and get pregnant by another man. Y'all don't think that don't happen? Remember the lady that was on Murray that had brought like 7 or 8 different men on there trying to find out who was her baby's father? 7 or 8 different men, and none of them were the father. So what does that tell you? How many men that woman was sleeping with in that period of time she got pregnant? This is real life shit that happens.
Yeah, and I say, married or not, if you are present at a live birth where you are suspected of being the father, you should get a DNA test, married or not. 4th child, 5th child, 6th child, I don't care how many children it is. You should be getting a DNA test at each one. And you know what the woman should say? Go on and get it. I know exactly who. You ain't got to worry about nothing with me, but go on and do it. You're just wasting your money. That's what you want to hear. That's what you want the woman to say. You're just wasting your money. But go ahead and waste it. You got it to waste. Go ahead. I already know what's going to happen, right? Instead of, wait, hold on, wait. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Hold on, what's going on? I was reading about a family that got busted up because of this. I was reading about a family that got busted up. I think so there was a family. I think it was Christmas, and so what they got the father for Christmas. They got the father. They did what is that 23andMe? They did the 23andMe of all the children, right? So the mother didn't know. The mother didn't know until they opened everything, right? They opened the gifts right there. And so now they have all of this, trying to find out who's got what, how much of what race or whatever in them, right? And who they're likely to be their parents, right? They're the line of genealogy, right? And so the mother went and grabbed all that stuff, man. It just, she said, "Hey, no, I don't want him to see this. He's got a bad heart. He's gonna make me," you know. And they were like, "What?" The children were tripping, like, What's going on with her?" We're just looking at it like, it's just, they thought it was just, something they was gonna look at just to go over and laugh about it, right? The mother was, but come to find out, I think out of 3 children, I think only one of them was his. The last one, the baby was his. The rest of them done. I mean, they were grown. These people were grown, had other lives, their lives. Everybody was out the house, but the mother got busted. The mother got busted years later because they went
Yeah,
down.
it's real life. It's so many from way back when up until, like I said, current. It's still happening. It's still being done. And a lot of times, like I said, these IG models and these girls that's in the entertainment industry, they specifically target the men in that industry because they know if they get pregnant by them, they straight for at least 18 to 21 years.
Yeah, I mean, hey, smart bet. I mean, that's a smart bet. I can't say they dumb for doing that. That's a smart bet. It's just unfortunate for the guy because you hook up with somebody and you really don't know them, but you hooking up with them because they got all this sexual attraction, and then once you get to know the person, you figure out, man, they just a snake in the grass. But now you stuck with them for 18 years. You gotta work it out some kind of way. Difficult in light. What black people are you referring to? Is this normal? This is just normal. Period. I don't think it's just black people.
This is general. Yeah,
I
this
think
is a
it's just across the
general.
board. But
Yeah, and I wouldn't say it's abnormal, but I think that if depends on, listen, because now it's just a different ball game, right? Because of all of the modern technology and the ways people are meeting each other and things
yeah,
of that nature. So let's be real. If you're not married to the woman, but you're sleeping with the woman and you're not married to her, you're dating a woman, can you say 100% sure she's only sleeping with you?
no, not especially in today's market. No way.
Exactly. And even if you meet that woman, you start dating that woman and so forth, and then you guys get engaged and everything, and then you start a family or whatever, can you still, even in your marriage, can you guarantee? Depends on your situation. What if you have an open marriage? What if y'all swing? What if y'all do these different alternative lifestyles that's going on?
Yeah,
There's a probability, depending on what you all setup is in that marriage, that she can possibly get married, get pregnant by another man. So it's it's a lot of things that come into play, and I think like I said earlier, it's an individual thing. But I think that because men are the ones that's gonna get caught up the most with the most responsibility when it comes to child support. If there is any inkling in your mind, is what I'm saying, any inkling in your mind, because I think men choose to ignore that a lot when that little inkling in their mind is this child really mine? Do I believe 100% that this child is mine? I know this woman that broke up a couple of times during periods of time. I know we done had our issues and problems. You know what I mean? It's so many scenarios.
yeah, and they should. But see, you know how we would stop that? You don't even have to think about it if you just do every live birth, DNA swab, bam. Wouldn't even have to think about it. Wouldn't even have to think about it no more. It'll stop that paternity fraud. It'll stop all of that. If we just did it, if we just become a natural thing where they won't even let you sign a birth certificate unless they swab you and they see if it's a match, right? That's the way we should do it. I mean, it shouldn't even be like, oh, well, I have to pay for it to get done. It should be extra. No, throw it into the cost of the birth. You know what I mean? Put it on the insurance and let's do it right then and there. But you know why? It ain't a lot of money in doing that for the lawyers. So the lawyers make more money going back and forth to fight
Exactly.
to make
Going
sure
back and forth. Yep.
exactly
Absolutely.
right. So that's why nobody's going to fight to get that done. Anyway, let me read this one. Difficult in Light says, "Are you saying that this is a regular occurrence? It absolutely is a regular occurrence. If you are both talking about this like it's not a rarity, but actually a regular occurrence in the black community, then Black people are lost. It's not only it's more prevalent in the white community actually, but it's not. It's definitely prevalent in the Black community. Absolutely, 100%.
But I would say to difficult life, if he has his own mindset, then it's to each his own. You know what I mean? I like I said, I won't say it's a regular occurrence, but I won't say it's irregular either. It depends on the scenario, the situation, the relationship, it depends on so many things that we just said within the last 10-15 minutes of this conversation. So you have to think for yourself what your situation looks like. If you are okay with meeting a woman, dating a woman, getting engaged to a woman, marrying a woman, having a child with a woman, and not doing a DNA, that is fine if that's what you choose to do. I think it's a case-by-case basis.
No, here's the first time me and Patrice gonna not agree. No, you need to get a DNA test at every live birth. Period. The end. That is
but you already know, bro. Some Black men they still ain't gonna do it. That's why I said
I know they ain't gonna do it. I'm just saying they can't say they blood off our hands, right? Yeah, you can't say nobody told me. I didn't know. If I had known that, and difficult to like, I'll put the link out there. I hope you will click on the link and cam up so that we can let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Because bro Clarence, in this case, pay now or pay later.
There you go.
Either way, you're gonna pay.
There you go. And
so you got to be smarter than a serpent when it comes to your situation as the man, because it's going to cost you the most.
And see, all I'm saying is, hey, let's everybody protect everybody. I feel like, because I'm saying you get a prenup that, a woman don't get a dime. No, she should get a fair separation. It should be fair, but it should be fair, not excessive. Shouldn't exceed the limits. And likewise on the man's part, it shouldn't exceed the limits.
And listen, bro Clarence, I understand your pushback on my statement, but look what Difficult Night just said. So to me, his even way of questioning is like he leaning towards like, wow, would I really have to do this if I got married? You know what I mean? So again, that's why I say to each his own, because let's be real, most of the time men don't think this way and they don't do it.
Right. And what the men focus on is the sex, and the women focus on the security. So the women focus on the security. So they will focus on the fact that that's why the hotter women are going after the athletes and the entertainers and stuff. Why? Because they focus on their security. It's not about the character. They focus on security. And same thing why all the guys, no matter what status they're in, they're trying to chase after the hottest chicks because they're focusing on the sex.
Right, but what did I say earlier, bro Clarence? When you first asked the question, I automatically said they should. But I'm giving Difficult in light something else to think about. If that's not the scenario you choose, then you're gonna pay now or pay later. So which, you know what I mean? So the choice is ultimately is yours.
Yeah. And so you say Difficult Light says, if you don't trust each other, why are you having a baby with each other? Let me tell you something difficult. Like most people
do that every day.
Yeah, these people that see what the people are doing is having casual sex. They're not actually trying to have babies. But what happens is, because they're not using protection, they're ringing the bell, right? Bang, you ring the bell, right? Once you ring the bell as a man, your job is done. You have no rights, no nothing. Okay? If the woman wants to have the baby or not have the baby, it's totally up to her. You have nothing. So, therefore, you, as much as you can, try to protect yourself as much as you can on the other end by at least making sure that if you're going to pay child support, at least it's your child. That's all you can do, because you don't have no rights. Once you turn over, once you give possession of your sperm to the female then can use it for its intended purpose. And its intended purpose was to fertilize eggs. Once that egg is fertilized, then you have no more rights after that. You have no more. Actually, you have no more rights after you inject your sperm into the woman. You have no further rights. The woman can use. She can not use it or use it for its intended purpose. But if she uses it for its intended purpose, it's going to put you on the hook legally, right? That's no problem if it's your child. But what if somebody else has rung the bell already? Like Sister Patrice said already, she knows she's 3 or 4 weeks pregnant. She ain't showing yet, but she knew she's already pregnant. But she knows you got a better outlook on life than the person that actually got her pregnant, and so she tried to reel you in to be the daddy of the baby. And then ultimately it turns out to be a horrible situation. That's why I say just take care of the business first. Relationships are business to a certain extent, and childbearing is a business. This is a big business. Okay, so if you're doing business, do your business. You already made the child, now do the business, do the DNA swab. That way, once it comes back that you are the dad, sign the birth certificate. That's it, bottom line. And it should work 99% of the time. Those 1% of the people that they catch, now you got to have a conversation, right? That's what I say anyway. Let's go down to chat here. Mr. B, Mr. Best in the World. Shout out Brother Clarence. Shout out to OG Patrice. Knowledge and relationships. We're in the building. Good to have y'all knowledge and relationships. Glad
Shout out to your knowledge and relationship.
Yeah, go check their channel out, Knowledge and Relationships. Difficult life. You shouldn't be having a baby with someone you don't trust. Period. Hello. You could go send that message all over the world, but people
exactly.
Sex, right? People
they doing it every day,
right? Because they're trying to have casual sex, and so the problem is, like we said, they're not trying to get the woman pregnant, and the woman's probably not trying to get pregnant by some dude that she just met. But it happens, and that's where these problems come up. And sometimes she gets pregnant. She's been pregnant already, like Patrice said. They've been pregnant, and they know they're pregnant, but you in law school or you in doctor school, and they say, shoot, this dude got a better future than
Pookie or Ray Ray or Junebug or Dusty.
So anyway, Mr. B, like and subscribe, hit that bell. Thank you, Mr. B. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, so see, it's guys like this, like Difficult Light, that they don't know. They're getting bad information out there, and then they're saying, oh, and they're looking at it from a ethereal viewpoint and not the reality that's out here. The reality is out here is, I don't care how church going of a guy you are, if the right girl comes along your way, you might be tempted to go and take the swan dive, right? So you need to protect yourself as best as you can. As best as you can is get a DNA swab. I was too old and I had already been through all this stuff to know what to do. And I didn't have anybody in my ear when I was having my children. But thank God they looked just like me, had moles all where I had moles and everything. I only had one boy that was really lighter than me. One time I was in San Diego. One time I was and my wife said, "Hey, can you go to the store to get X, Y, Z?" I think we was a Thanksgiving get together, and I was at my sister-in-law's house. So she was helping my sister-in-law cook. So I said, "Okay, I'll take the baby." My middle boy was at that time. So I took him with me, but he's really, really light because my wife is really light. So when I took him with me, he started trying to fight to get away from me, right? Everybody in the store was looking at me like, what are you doing with this baby that don't look nothing like you, right? So I had to show him, hey, no, look,
exactly.
He has a birthmark like me. I had to show him my arm. I got a birthmark here. He got a birthmark here. This is my son. But they were looking like, this boy don't look like you.
Right. And listen, and in families, in the bloodline, sometimes the look skips a whole generation, because you can have a child with your wife and it could come out looking like your or her or your parents or grandparents. I mean, it depends on how strong the genes is, in the family.
All right.
So yes.
Check this out. Difficult Light says, in my culture, we are taught to have babies with people we trust. Unprotected casual sex is not our portion, option, I believe that was what you're trying to say. Our option, right? Well, unfortunately, that's how most of the world is taught, but do they obey? Do they practice that? Most people don't practice that. Most people, the practice is to try to have casual sex and hope. They use a hope strategy. They're hoping they don't ring the bell, right? That's here in America. I don't care what race you go to or what race of people you go to. If you go do a cross section of American society, race included, I think you will find that that is generally the outlook of most people. Yeah, there's some people that live by that standard, but the average person in America does not live that way. So you must not be from America. Different like says people we don't trust. Yeah, I mean, how would you? I don't think. See, most people don't think about somebody who they trust when they're having casual sex. I'm talking about
Exactly.
they just
Yeah.
looking to have a good time, right?
A lot of them are not even practicing safe sex when they having casual sex. So imagine
Right.
that. I think
See,
even before couples, especially before they get married, but even if they before they have an intercourse for the first time, like go get tested,
yes,
especially before you get married. Go get tested. Go get go get the STD test. Like it's seriously. Like we're not doing that at a proportion of a level that we should be in society, especially with a lot of people that are having casual sex, because most of the time people that are having casual sex are having casual sex with more than just one person.
yes, unprotected casual sex.
Let's just be real about that.
Yes. So I think that's a great idea, and that's what I'm going to do. I mean, that's what I'm promoting is for you guys to, uh, when you actually going out with a person. But now I'm like Patrice. I understand most guys are not going to do this. Most guys are not going to meet a girl and then say, "Hey, let's go down to the clinic together and let's go get tested together." No. But if you're going to marry someone, if you're going to marry someone, that is an absolute must. You have to go down together and say, there's a couple things you got to do together. One of them is you're going to have to go down together and get a blood test, get some blood work done. You're going to
Exactly.
have to, you're going to have to go down together and get your credit ran together. You're going to have to go down and get background checks on each other. You got to do this because the reason why is
Yes.
you want to know exactly where you stand. That way, when you see everything up front,
Absolutely. Prior
then
to
you
prior to marriage, absolutely.
exactly,
Credit check, background, criminal background check. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
and
And
you
you
should.
should talk about your financial stances. Where are you both are financially as well before you get married?
That's a whole. There's a couple of different
How you
topics.
gonna file your taxes? Are you gonna file, married, separate, jointly? Like all of that is gonna affect your relationship and your marriage. And if you talk about these things prior to marriage, then you got the business part out of the way. Now we can concentrate in the prenup. Now we can concentrate on what we set out to do: build the family, build together, whatever it is that it looks like in your scenario in your marriage. Now you can concentrate on that because the business part of it is out of the way.
And I showed you that I trust you enough to do all of this stuff for you. You showed me that you trust me enough to do all this stuff for me. We it builds the trust in the relationship. It builds the trust. Now you know you ain't just playing around. You know you want to be in a marriage or a long term relationship with somebody that's got just as much invested in this situation as you do. So you want to know where you standing at. You don't want nothing to come up. See, back in the day, people weren't getting in as much trouble as they are nowadays. Nowadays, people have a lot of issues going on, and so you need to know what's going on before. You might like remember we was talking about earlier, Patrice, a couple of days ago when we was talking to leave the turn. There's people with mental illness out here, man. And then how do you think they get to 20, 30, 40 years old? They hide it. They
Yep,
hide it. They
that's
know how to
real.
yeah, they know how to hide it, so they look like they're very functional people. And then when you like this guy, that guy that did all that stuff he did, they look like they're very functional people. And then at the end, you find out, oh, they're not as functional. They're not as functional. So
Exactly.
there's a lot that you need to, and I got another channel that I'm building now, and it's going to be strictly for relationship, marriage and relationships. And I'm going to talk over there, and I'm going to just give out a lot of good advice about, marriage and relationships. But yeah, definitely you should get tests at every live birth. Now, Sister Patrice, I got you here. So let me ask you a question. If I'm trying to go out with you and I say to you, I just meet you, right? And we're at I don't know, I say, hey, let's meet someplace, Starbucks or something. Let's just meet just so we can get to know, meet up, right? So we meet up and I said, hey, we start talking, we having a vibe, we vibing and everything. And I'm feeling a sexual vibe off you. You feeling a sexual vibe off me. Can I go to you and what are you going to say to me when I say, hey, look, um, why don't we go get our blood work drawn and see if we have any issues before we get intimate? What are you going to say to me?
Yeah, I would have no problem with that after, like when you first meet someone, right? Like I'd like to call like the first time you meet someone, whether it's you go out on that first date. Some people say first date, I say meet and greet because I don't have no problem with meeting somebody at Starbucks or a donut shop or whatever because you're not obligated to each other. So it's no harm, no foul if you
Right,
meet that person and it's no attraction, right? It was
right,
like, hey, it's nice meeting you, but I believe in being honest with a person. If it's no attraction, if it's no chemistry, if it's no connection, then I know I'm not gonna see you no more. I'm gonna be real with you, and I
right.
expect you to be real with me. You go your way, I go my way. But if the interest is there the first time, I would say I still would maybe not the first time talk about blood tests or anything like that. Maybe, okay, if we see each other again and we see each other again and we get to a point, I would say maybe after a few dates and we really feeling each other, we continuously dating each other, then I would say I would be open to that option. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't be open to it maybe like after that first meet and greet. Now we can have the conversation and say, hey, let's see how this goes. If we continue to date and see each other and it goes well, then let's explore this option again later when we get closer to that time.
Okay, okay. Let me see here. Brother K says, females continue communicate in an indirect manner, and he says, the female will be offended if I. Now, okay, so maybe it was maybe not the first date, maybe the third or fifth or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? The date where you
Yeah,
start to see that maybe
the
intimacy.
comfortability of where you are with the
Right,
dating process as you continue to vet each other out, and where it's going, after a certain amount of time, whatever is comfortable for the two consenting adults, and that differs for everybody, right?
yeah,
But yes, that conversation, I would definitely be open to the conversation.
right.
I mean, after the first time, I would say, no, I'm not going with you, tomorrow and do no blood test. Like, no, I just met you. But you know what I mean? But I would definitely say I will be open to if we continue to date each other and it goes well, we can explore this option and talk about it again. And I will be open to doing that. I have no problem because if people's intentions are good and they are really dating to meet someone on a serious level. Now, if you just out here casually dating, ain't
Yeah,
nobody finna even ask that question in the first place. Let's just be real about that.
right, right.
Most people that are casually dating, they casually dating Susan and Sally and Brenda and Teresa. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
you don't know how many bodies people got under. Females too. Don't get me wrong. It ain't just men. Females too. Females out here casually dating as well and dating multiple men and possibly sleeping with multiple men. You just don't know when you first meet somebody. You don't know, and people bring their representatives. Period.
yes, 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 absolutely. Uh, Brother K says the female on the panel sounds real logical. Yes, she is. That's the problem. That's the scary part, man. She sounds like she's on an island by herself. Her and Sister Wanda, they sound like they're on an island by themselves. Most female don't have that kind of decisive mindset. No, they don't. No, they don't. But they don't think about it logistically. They think about it in terms of what am I going to get, and most of the time, and they don't think about it and I'm talking about the men too. The men don't even think. They think, man, I'm trying to just get to the sex. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna bring up no subject that's gonna take her mind off of sex. I'm gonna keep her, where her mind is on sex. Because if I bring up getting the blood work, or I bring up, that I listen to Kevin Samuels or anything like that, she's gonna be like, "What? No," you know what I mean? And like Chris Rock said, up those panties gonna go right back up, and then you're done, right? So they're not gonna bring up anything. But I think that men should protect themselves, right? And men, well, I don't say just men, but women too. I only say men because men seem to take the brunt of the financial hit more than women do most of the time when things go off the rails, right? Men usually take the financial brunt of the subject.
This is the thing I want to say to men too, because you can tell a woman's maturity level and her mindset and how serious she is in her dating process with you if she gets offended by anything. I'm telling you, if I jump to defense, if I get offended over something that's as serious as, we're dating and vetting each other, and we on date number 5, and you say to me, hey, if we both agree as consenting adults, let's take it to this next level. How about us going to get blood tests together? What do you say? If a woman takes offense to that, or a man,
yeah,
okay, let's just be clear.
Yeah.
It works both ways, but yes, whoever brings it up, if the other person gets offended by that, that is a red flag. I'm sorry, it is.
Yeah, yeah, and why wouldn't someone want, if they really care about you, if they're growing to really care about you, why wouldn't they want to protect you?
Well, how about, and even if they care about themselves, they have to care about themselves first before they can care about you.
Yeah, there you go.
I would think that I would want to, know, because sometimes we think we know our sexual status just because we know the last person we were with, how long it's been. But do we really know? Nothing's 100% until you get tested.
There you go. There you go.
People carry things for months, years, and not know.
Yeah, I knew this dude. And he was he was thought he was cool, thought everything was cool, and he had everybody in the house had to get tested. Him and his 2 children and his wife had to get tested because they had some kind of bug or something. They had to get tested, so they just got tested for everything. Right? Man comes up with herpes, and they go, "What?" He goes, "What? How? What? What's the what?" Then they go, "You've had this thing for a long time." They told him, "You had it for a long time." And so he goes, "What? How? I can't believe it. I thought I was cool." Kind of find out his wife had it, never told him.
Yes, listen.
Into it with
and that is one definitely STD that can be hid for a long time.
Yeah,
and I don't want women to get offended when I say this, but for the most part, women are the carriers.
Yeah.
Ask your OB-GYN, and women most likely be the carriers.
Yeah.
So men, a lot of the onus be on you guys when it comes to child support, custody, sex, things of that nature, because your seed is what impregnates that woman.
Yeah.
Your seed is going inside that woman. And like you said, your friend didn't know that his wife probably was a carrier for a long time, and she didn't even know she was a carrier, so she infected him.
No,
and don't get me wrong, the man can carry and affect the woman, but for the most part, the woman is the carrier.
But she knew. She knew. She didn't say anything. You know what I mean? She just was like, "I hope he don't find out." And he didn't find out on child 1. He didn't find out on child 2. Thank God the children didn't come up with it, but he had it. You know what I mean? And so, he never. My man Rush. I got somebody in the building. Sister Patrice, maybe you want to talk to you. Maybe you want to talk to me, brother Rush. What's going on, brother?
Yo, salute. Yo, that was me on the chat, man.
That was you in the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I was like, who is that, man? All right, brother. Brother Rush. All respect, brother. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah. Likewise. Yo, definitely got mad respect for you. Yeah, we might have some We might not agree on everything, but you're a respectable brother. I want to be able to learn from you, brother, because you're my elder.
Same here, brother. Same here. What you got to drop on us, man? What you got? What jewels you got to drop on us, brother Rush?
Man, first of all, we all know Jesus is black. Number two, we the children of Israel. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
our bloodline derives from the 12 tribe of Israel. You heard?
I didn't want to get all into it, brother, but okay, I will let you put that out there. Yes, sir. I
Yeah, I
appreciate that.
mean, and
Yeah.
yeah, most definitely, man. Dudes should definitely get a DNA test when they have kids, man. Cause let me tell you, man, a friend of mine, man, he's in his 60s, and he's like my mentor.
Yes.
And it turns out his last two kids that he had with his wife didn't belong to him.
Oh my gosh, man. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
man.
Brother
And I'm
Rush.
pretty
Brother
close
Rush.
with. I'm pretty
Brother Rush.
close with.
I'm sorry, brother. How did he find out, brother? How did it come up? Come up?
He found out um through the actual guy that's the father.
Oh,
Cause yeah, he wanted to be in his kid's life, and I'm cool with his kids. It's like the majority of the family are like stocky people, man. But it turns out the last two kids are like 6'4", lean, athletic built, and it's like, yo, when when we be at the cookouts, they be like, yo. They'll look at me and be like, "Yo, man, everybody around here is like short and stocky, but I'm just so lean, man. I don't know what's going on, Like they have an idea what's going on, but really they don't.
yeah. Wow. So what made
Yeah.
him? So the man just rolled up one day and said, "Hey, I want to be in my children's lives."
Well, he didn't do it abruptly. He kind of like, because like they all know each other. They all know the same people. So,
Uh-huh.
I guess one day he came to his job and spoke to him about it. And it
Oh,
was really devastating.
oh,
It was
oh.
devastating for the husband. It was devastating for the kids. Even
So
his
what?
half sisters.
So what ended up happening?
Obviously, they got a divorce. Um, she kept the house. He's paying alimony. Um, he was paying child support for a little bit, and then the end of it is like, his kids end up not going to college, so they end up just getting like normal jobs. So he didn't have to keep paying child support past
Mm,
the age of 18. Because
mm.
even though you have proofs, even though you have the proof of showing that the kids aren't your biological seed, it takes time for the government to stop you from
Yes.
paying child support. You got to show
Yes.
proof. It's a long, dreadful process.
Yes.
That's why I advise guys to get DNA tests and never sign the birth certificate, because when
Yes.
you sign a birth certificate, it puts you in a subservient position within the court system, paying child support, even if you can prove that the kid is not yours.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the problem is straightening that out. That's why I say don't sign anything until you get that DNA match. When you get the DNA match, then you can sign it, and then take care of your responsibility. But you sign that birth certificate before then, like you said, you find out 2 years later that that's not your child. Ouch. You might take another
But
2 or 3 years.
it was more than 2 years, man. These kids grew up thinking that this guy was his father.
That is terrible, bro. That is terrible, and I don't understand why. So what did the woman say? Like why? How was she able to pull that off?
Well, I mean, obviously, whatever she pulled on him, she like, and this is why I want to tell guys, man, like if you have an opportunity to beat the woman in the relationship, take that opportunity, man. He didn't take the full opportunity to beat this woman with this case. Obviously he still end up paying alimony and child support, which is totally unfair because she stepped out on the relationship. But you know, guys like him, you know, they're stand-up guys.
Right.
Even though they find out the kid is not theirs, they feel like they're still the father of the child, you know? A
Yeah,
righteous man, you know? And a lot of
yeah.
righteous men like that always get taken advantage of, you know?
That's the thing, brother. That's the thing. That's why I'm like you, brother. I say at every live birth, I don't care if you're married or not. You sign, you do the DNA swab, and then you wait until it comes back
But
before
look,
anything.
but look, the man, if he knew now, he knew then that them kids was his. But you know what he did? He watched another man raise them, pay child support for him, and then he came after the children were grown and said, I want to be in my kid's life.
You know what's the crazy part? That guy, that's the biological father, he is still tapping that ass. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Like they still got a sexual relationship, which is
So she's
crazy.
not
That
married
is
to either
absolutely insane.
guy. She's not
Hmm.
married to either guy.
No, neither.
Oh,
Because if it wasn't for the guy, if it wasn't for the side dude stepping up and telling the father, well, the righteous man, that those two kids is his, like he would have never found out, and you know they probably would have still been married. You know.
okay, brother Rush. You younger than us, so I'm gonna ask you a question, brother. You out on a date, brother. You're dating a woman. You find a woman. She's really. You feel like, hey, man, she's she might have a little potential here, right? At what point would you say to her, um, let's go and get our blood work done so that we could, because I think I see intimacy in our near future.
Now, let me ask you a question. Now, if we're getting this blood work, right, are we
Uh-huh.
doing that for the sake of having unprotected sex?
That's correct.
Okay. I don't have unprotected sex. I always strap on.
Okay, right on, right on. But do you think you should do it even if you haven't protected sex? Don't you think you should do that? Don't you think that's a good idea anyway?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, Mr. Clarence. How I approach the situation, I don't even approach the situation on long term. You know, I
Okay,
approach the situation. You know, as soon as I get what I want, I'm out. You know,
okay, okay.
my vein is cold for these women out here, man. They all belong to the streets. You know what I mean?
I got you, man. I got you, man. I've been there before. I've been there. Yeah, I get you, man. I get you. But I'm gonna suggest to all of you young guys, even if you are strapped up and wrapped up tight, I would say if maybe you might be doing all that, but contact is contact, and you never know, man. If you
You're
can,
right. You're right.
I would do it.
And I'm pretty
If you
selective
can,
on who I choose to sleep with. It's not like I sleep with any random
right,
girl.
right,
You know,
right.
as you get older, you tend to slow down a lot. You know,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I do have a rotation.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Are you now in your rotation? I'm assuming there's at least two or three women, right? In your rotation,
For
do
for
you absolutely trust 100% that nobody else is stepping outside of what you got going on with them, or you think maybe anything else might be going on?
nah, they're definitely doing their own thing.
Okay.
I gotta tell you this, man. You know, married women, the baby mothers, those are the
Yeah.
easy targets, man. Those are the ones that really sexually aggressive. I mean, you're laughing, but it's true, man. You
I
know,
mean, hey, that's a laugh like I know what you're talking about, brother. So I hear you. I hear you, man. But I mean, these streets are so cold, brother Rush. We gotta we I mean, we just gotta be careful, brother. We just got to be careful. Especially a smart brother like you, man. Gotta be careful, man. You know what I'm saying? But if you're cool with it and it's working for you, cool. But I'm always push. You know what I'm saying? I'm always pushing my program. And then y'all could always tell me, oh, Clarence, my thing is working for me, so I'm good. Okay, cool. But I'm still
Yeah,
gonna
man. I
put
mean, if you've been a guy that's been married for 20 years and you're trying to
yeah,
get in the dating scene, man, you definitely need to speak to a brother like me, man, to school you
yeah,
on how the game is really worked. Because it's not like back in the day where you take a female out for dinner and everything's all glitz and giggles. Like
right,
this, it's really cold out here, man. You got to
yeah,
be able to discern on who's using you for a free meal or who's using you for certain things, man. These women, man, they got rotations too, man.
yeah,
They
yeah,
got a catalog. These females, man, they be having a catalog full of niggas. One fix the car, one is a
right.
plumber, one, you know what I mean? One
Yeah,
to
I
pull
hear
Oh
you,
keys to
my
the
man.
God, is it
website,
that bad? That's bad.
you
I
know?
hear you, brother.
These women ain't playing out here, man.
I,
You guys need
yes,
to wake up, man.
man, my one of my good friends, he had a niece, and she was just telling us about one of her friends that had, I mean, man, a dude for her nails, a dude for her hair, a dude for her dinner, a dude for give her rides all over the place. I mean, it was a serious, it was a crazy situation, man. So I hear what you're saying, and that was about 10 years ago. Yeah, I hear you, brother.
Yeah, man. And honestly, man, like, yo, I'm a first of all, like, I'm not a dude that was originally like this, you know.
Yeah,
Obviously, I fell upon to religion and all that, find the most high,
right.
stopped, got into the streets, changed my lifestyle, and as I got older and I did more research, you start to learn the truth, man. You
Yeah,
start to figure out, certain biblical texts, man. They speaking about us,
yeah,
and I
Exactly,
and I had to
bro.
discover
I'm
that.
with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, and I discovered that at a late age, man. Because a lot of these preachers out here, man, they gonna tell you you the Gentile, man, and that's completely false, man.
yeah,
That's the biggest lie. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
But
Yeah,
I had
I
to learn that
agree.
on my own. You
I
know?
did too, bro. I did too. Absolutely. That's why I said, the church have a lot to do with a lot of our disparity as well, especially when I was coming up. I'm a boomer, so if you are X or millennial, I think right at the end of the X, from the millennials on, like the whole narrative changed.
Yeah, but I
Let me
mean,
ask.
your generation, they still have
That
there's
mindset.
still hope for y'all. You know what I mean? My
Yeah.
generation,
Yeah, that
it's
mindset.
it's done. There's no hope
Yep.
for them, man. You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah, my
godless
my
society,
yeah,
man.
and even my parent, my mother, which is the silent generation, it's a mindset that is so conditioned, and you can't change them after they get older. And I just, Godspeed. You know what I mean? Because when I came to the revelation for myself, brother, and it's to each his own, it's individual. Because my thing is, I'm not trying to convert nobody, and I don't want nobody try to convert me, but that generation of old, my parents and even a lot of people in my generation of boomers have a certain condition of a mindset when it comes to religion that, again, it was very whitewashed. Because like told brother Clarence, my grandmother and my mother had that picture of that white Jesus in our
Oh
house. So
man, oh man, you know what, man? That ain't Jesus, man. That's a pedophile they worshiping, man. That's Caesar Bajor, man. You know what I mean?
I hear you, man. I hear you. But the funny part is, how many of us have that information that you throwing out there, man? See, that's the whole funny part, is that we don't have that information. We're looking for somebody made up to give us guidance. You know what I mean? We need to seek our own guidance by seeking information that supports us. But a lot of our people, they're out there. Just like the whole point about the Spookynomics is they're waiting on somebody, God, to bring them a partner or a life partner or something. When the whole point is, hey, if you want a life partner, you're gonna have to go out there and work and search for one, right? Even the person they talking about said, "Seek and ye shall find." Right? You got to seek. You got to go out there and do a lot of seeking because the competition is so high. Even on the men's side, competition is so high. You know what I mean? So you got to get out there and actually look for information, the purpose, everything of value. It's gonna take time to get to it. You ain't. It isn't gonna just be sitting on a table somewhere waiting for you to come get it with your name on it. You gonna have to go
Yeah,
and
I
seek
mean, you're definitely right about that, Clarence. And in this day and age, you know, the percentage of virgin males is, I think it's at up to like 35%, some
right,
crazy number. And it's
right.
like the reason why this is happening is because you're um okay, Melanie from a small town from Arkansas is able to, you know, link up with a guy from New York that plays for the Jets, you know, and he'll
Yeah,
fly out and and break her back in, you know, and send
yeah,
her back home on the way, you know.
yeah.
Meanwhile, the normal average guy that working at Walgreens, he can't bag that chick because that okay chick is politicking from the guy from the New York Jets, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It's a sad situation, man, for the regular brothers that's just trying to make their way, that's trying to walk up the ladder slowly. It's a sad situation for those brothers, man, because
No,
now,
it is, man. And let me tell you, man, these women, they look past these average guys, man.
yeah,
You know, they don't look towards their way, man. If you're not some type of drug kingpin or you play for the Jets, you know, like these chicks, they're gonna look past you, man. You know,
well, see,
the
that's the
college
problem.
kids,
Especially if you in big cities, that pump up, social media, entertainment, sports real big. If you in especially places, I would say like Las Vegas, California, Miami, Atlanta, the Black Hollywood, like particular places like that, even Chicago, that's where I'm from, Detroit, big city places like that. I noticed that that's the norm of how I watch a lot of young ladies move, in guys that they choose, and what they about, and what's their stature, and why they choose the guys they choose. And
right,
and
right,
it starts in their 20s and 30s.
Okay,
And
well,
you're
let me
right,
right.
ask you a
I
question.
mean, I coming up, I dated the average hardworking man. He was the mechanic. I'd have dated from the mechanic all the way up to, I've dated the doctor, I've dated a lawyer, I've dated, all the way up the scope. You have to, when you coming up as you age, and your things change, your morals, your values, and things like that. But if these were people that had things that aligned up with your morals and values, it didn't matter to me if he was the garbage man, as opposed to, because I've dated a garbage guy, worked for the garbage company, that was a lot better than the doctor that I dated, or the attorney, because morals and values and different things were different, right? So it would
Right.
right,
depend. Back then, we looked in the good and in the heart of the man, the hardworking man. Like, it was more respect put on that man, that the blue collar man that I grew up, watching my mother date my father, and my uncles and things of that nature. They were hardworking men, so that was just the norm. As things change, now you're moving into the 80s, and then crack comes into our neighborhoods. Then you got all these guys that want to be the biggest drug dealer on your block, and women were dating these type of guys. It was just, I just saw so much of the change, happen. So, and now we're moving into reality TV, Instagram. We got so much modern technology out here now, and now these young girls are, like I said earlier, living their lives through those people vicariously, thinking that that can be their life.
Yeah.
So they would go get all this work done to their body, create an Instagram account, and all this OnlyFans, when they had all of that, and they would get on there, and they would, have those type of men come and vet them, come after them, because they want to get the bag.
Okay, I got
yeah.
I got
I
two
mean,
questions for you guys.
overall, the oh, go
Go ahead,
ahead,
brother Rush.
Clarence. Sorry about that.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother. I'm gonna ask us you guys some questions. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, by all that, the chick, getting her body done. If she's smart enough to connive a guy to get her body done, it's all an investment to bag the top 10%er. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But you just hit the nail on the head, 10%. So you got a bunch of women out here that's getting all that work done to go after 10% of the men.
Yep.
Right. Right.
And a lot of times they even losing because these men ain't marrying them. They may get lucky and luck up and have a baby bound, but the men are still not really marrying them for the most part.
Because they know better. They know what time it is. They know that female's not there for their looks or great charisma, even though they might have it. But they know what time it is, man. You know.
All right. Let me ask y'all a question. All right. Do women want a good man? Do women want a good man?
They say they do. Sometimes I think a lot of the younger generation don't know what they want. I think that if they are young, immature, don't have enough experience in relationships, sometimes I think they can be confused about what good looks like for them.
Right. I agree with that. That makes sense. Brother Rush. What do you think?
Okay, brother? You gotta understand a female like OG Practice. By the way she speaks, I can tell she has a sound mind. A lot of these young females, they don't have that kind of sound mind. They don't even know what really is a good man. In their eyes, a good man is a guy that makes $100 grand a year and his pipe game is on on point. That's what's a good man to the modern day female.
Right. But okay, so then we're in agreement that they might say they want a good man, but they don't even know what that looks like, right?
They don't know what a good man is.
Right. So,
because if they did, they will go holler at the garbage man and the guy that works at Walgreens or the part-time college student.
Okay.
Yeah, because they never know that guy that works at Walgreens might actually be the manager in training to one day own a damn Walgreens or invest in a Walgreens. Or you go through the drive-through of McDonald's and you may see the manager, a name with the manager. He might be in training to one day own a McDonald's. But those be the guys that a lot of women will overlook. I'd have dated from the garbage man all the way up to the doctor and lawyer. And I know that it ain't all that sometimes with the doctors and the lawyers. I've had better men that were average men than I had that were quote unquote supposed to be high value men or high earning men, I should say.
Okay, let me ask you, Sister Patrice, since you're a female, you are a resident female. Are these women out here, because like Brother Rush said, I'm not actually with my toes in the water. He's actually got his feet in the water. Are these females out here, are they looking for quality or are they looking for quantity?
That's a good question. Honestly, I'm not out here like that. So, but I would say from what I see, I'm gonna answer from the perspective of what I see from like my cousins and my nieces and stuff. I see a little bit of both because I have some very highly intelligent nieces that know exactly what they want and know a good quality man and are in good quality relationship. And then I got some nieces and cousins that, baby, they think they got quality men, but they got some Pookies and Ray Rays and June Bugs and some Dusties. Okay.
Why do women date men like that?
I think it's an immaturity and a mentality that they just not there yet, and they have babies with these men. And
I want to say because they're immature, God, because I'm a reformed Pookie myself.
You're a reformed Pookie.
Right.
I should be in the streets.
And there's hope. There's hope for everybody. But I think it is a sense of immaturity, though, Rush. I really do, because when you're young, you're not mature. You haven't like lived a life long enough to have a lot of relationship experience to grow and mature on. Because I wasn't there when I was in my 20s. I didn't start getting it until I was in my mid 30s.
You can factor that in, but it's not the prime reason why they date those kind of guys. You know,
Oh
these
no,
guys.
no, I was gonna say also. I think opportunity and proximity is a reason too. A lot of times, if you that girl that grew up in a certain urban community or neighborhood, you date the guys that's close within your proximity as well.
Yeah, the environment situation, that too. You got to factor that in too. Um, you know, a lot of times these Pookies and Ray Rays, man, they know about, they understand female nature at a young age. You know, like I did. You know, my father's a player. You know, the individuals around me, they knew about women, so it was just naturally I was socially inclined to take advantage of women. You know what I mean?
But
Not taking advantage,
what was it about you, brother? When you was Pookie, what was it about you that drew these women in? What was it about you that drew them in and kept them in?
One, my charisma. I was aggressive.
Yeah, your swag.
Yeah, the
Your
swag.
swag.
You know, I still, even though, like, you know, I'm a straight guy now, but you can tell by my vernacular, you know, I'm not old. I didn't grow up in the suburbs. You know what I'm saying?
I
You
got
know,
you, brother.
I got a little edge on me. You know, and
Yeah,
that will always allow me to uh attract really attractive females. Not only that, you know, I'm socially inclined in the streets, but I'm cultural. You know, I'm I'm cultured. I know
right,
about culture. I speak two
right.
different languages fluently.
Okay,
And I'm educated. So, you know, like, yo, I got flavor to me, man. I'm not
right,
just one dimensional, you know. And
right.
females, they can sense that kind of shit, man. You know. But
But
yeah,
I'm saying,
when I
what was
was
the
a pookie,
benefit? What's the
but when
benefit
I
of
was,
the girl? Hold on, brother Rush. Let me get this out. What was
mhm,
the benefit to the girl of her being involved with a Pookie or Ray Ray? Because I'm trying to figure
um,
that out.
the notoriety I have, you know,
Oh,
everybody know me. And it's also for like I want to say social economic status, but on a social status that it was beneficial for her because I was well known in the streets. Everybody knew me. You know what I mean?
right,
So if the chick is around me, everybody would know about her. You know what I mean? So her identity becomes my notoriety in some sense, if
ah,
that makes kind
got
of
you.
sense. You know what I mean?
Okay, got you.
You know? But
Okay, because I'm just trying to figure out if because the whole thing of the show was about Spookynomics and waiting for some ethereal being to change something for us, and how then can we, if we stuck on women that are not good for us and men that are not good for us, how can we change that? How can we put people back on the right track so we can have some
what
better families and
it's
relationships?
it's on their upbringing, man. Like you got to be raised right, man. You know, if your moms don't know nothing about the nuclear family, why would the daughter know anything about it? You know, it's up
Yeah,
to the parents to raise that child right. Like I don't agree. I don't agree. I do not agree with single parenthood. I think both parents need to be in a child's life in order
yeah,
to raise a productive um a productive product to society. Because
right,
if not, it's just gonna be another monster, you know, that we got to deal with, you know.
right. But Brother Rush and Sister OG, how do we get? I agree with you. The best thing is for both parents to be there, but in some cases, man, it's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. My son is going through
Well,
that right
well, here's the thing that we have to get we have to make it a necessity for us to be coming from a nuclear family home. The Indians do it, the Hispanics do it, they know the value of the nuclear family. They don't believe in just, you know, having a kid and, you know, I'm a strong independent woman. I could do it by myself. They
Right.
believe in the male. They trust in the male to do what he needs to do to keep everything afloat. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, I mean, yo, it's, I'm not saying like, yo, you got to follow this blueprint, man. That's not what I'm saying. But
Okay.
what I'm saying is that, yo, in order to be, in order to become uh, a productive nation, yo, you got to believe in a nuclear family, man. Ain't
Yeah.
no way around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It takes a village to raise a child, man. We all
Yeah.
know this, man.
That's
I
the
Yeah.
mean,
problem, though. They ain't letting the village raise the child anymore. That's the problem. And another thing is, you know, people are don't want to change. Some people enjoy what they're doing, and until we are only responsible for ourselves, and the only way that, you know, things like that can happen is you have to change. And then when you change, therefore your situation will change. But everybody is not on about that. They ain't about change. They ain't about the village, you know, raising a child or raising a family in a nuclear family environment anymore. It's not. It's so many alternatives out here that people you know, are conditioned in now. And that's unfortunate. And I think that's a big reason why the black family nucleus is being destroyed. You know, it's being
yeah,
obsolete. It's almost obsolete. You know,
yeah,
I could be out at a restaurant and I will see other cultures of people, the husband, the wife. I was just out to dinner last night, and I look and I see a young, and I believe they were of Hispanic descent. And they were, you could tell they had probably just were married several years, you know, ago. Then they had 3 children, but they were there sitting down, eating dinner together with their children, interacting, the husband and wife, and they had 3 kids. But it was family oriented. And I just don't see a lot of that anymore in our communities. And it's so unfortunate. And it's both man and woman fault, because the women that are keeping the men from being in the children's life, and then you got the Pookie and the Ray Rays that ain't trying to be in their children's life. So it's all around the spectrum in the black community.
So
I agree, but we also have to understand that 50% of black males in the black community are single and middle class. So a lot of these women don't choose these single males. They choose the, you know, the so-called alpha type, the alpha that's considered to be alpha in the black community. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
high value
and
male.
the stats shows it. You know what I mean?
But
I
how we
myself
going?
is I myself is a black single male in a middle class environment. You know what I mean? Now, yeah, I do date a lot, you know, but honestly, man, I don't, and I want to. It's not even that I don't want to, but how things pan out. Like a lot of females I date are Latin women. You know what I mean? They're not from the black community, you know, and
Why is
they
that?
don't
Why is
choose
that,
me.
Brother Rush?
They
Why is
don't
that, Brother
choose
Rush?
me because because I changed my lifestyle and and I'm moving the way I'm supposed to. Yeah, I mean they don't choose a brother like me, but because I still got a little bit of flavor and I'm cultured, I can attract other females from outside my race. You know what I mean?
Wait a minute, wait a minute. I want us to be clear, Brother Rush. So you're saying that the sisters that, you know, many times will not choose you because you're not an athlete, or you're not this you know, entertainer person bringing in, you know, all these different you know, all this money. You're just a regular brother, hardworking brother, you know, living a modest lifestyle, and so the sisters kind of leave you alone. But you're saying that the Latin sisters are, you know, giving you play
Yeah, but when
more
I
often.
was younger, when I was in the streets, moving that way, I was getting, you know, attractive black females. But when I changed my lifestyle, it stopped.
Now, what do you mean moving that way? What you talking about?
Well, I don't want to disclose that kind of information, but
No. Don't say nothing incriminating. But but you was
When
looking.
he was about that life. When he was about that life.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. Okay, so yeah. So, but now, why do you think that the black females was more interested when you was about that life than now?
Because the black female has a distorted perception of an alpha male. Because I was doing the things I was doing, I was considered to be alpha. But those things I was yes, it was over the top. Like yo, black females, man, they need the over the top aggressive type dude, and I was that too. But yo, I changed, man. I slowed up. I'm not that aggressive no more.
Well, good
No,
for you. That's good.
I'm polite now. You know.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a
Yeah,
question?
yeah.
Would you eventually like to settle down, get married, and have a child or children?
Yo, honestly, I'm about to keep a buck with you guys right now. I would, if I were to knock up a female, I would prefer a black female because I want my child to look like me. But because of my style and my presence, I only attract the Latin type chicks. You know what I mean? They're cool and everything, but like they would like me, but it's like their family won't like me because they be on that racist shit. You know what I mean?
But
But that's a
I didn't
different
ask you
topic.
that though.
That's a different.
I asked you in the near future, would you like to get married and have children or a
Nah,
child
I don't.
or whatever?
I don't plan to ever have. I don't plan to ever get married or ever have kids. But if I were to, she would have to be black. But that's not in my plan.
May I ask why that's your thought process now, and do you think it will change possibly?
Um, yo, the only way that would change if the Most High was like, yo, this your wife, and you gotta take care of her. That's the only way I do something like that. But the odds of that happening is never gonna happen. So, you know what I mean?
Why does your hope really look that dim out here in these streets?
Well,
Like, is your
it's
hope
not.
for
It's
finding a black woman that you want to, and you say, if the Most High will say to you, however he'll say it to you, that this is your wife. So you're saying to me that your hopes of that is so dim that it has literally swayed you to not want to get married or have children
not only that, but
with a black woman.
we have to. First of all, I will always be attracted to a black woman, like hands down, like that's my preference. But it just so happenly, like the Latin community show me love. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just so
Okay,
easy.
and listen,
You know what
and
I
I
mean? It's just
understand
too
that.
easy. You know what I mean?
And no, and I understand that. I asked you a perspective question in general, whatever that looks like for you. But I'm saying, because you said you prefer a black woman, so I'm speaking on behalf of what you say you prefer. So I'm saying to you, is your like lit, like slim to none? Is that your thought process when it comes to the possibility of settling down, marrying a black woman, and having a kid or children with a black woman, which is what you're saying is your preference, your first preference?
Uh, it's mad slim, but yeah, that's my preference. And it's not. You got to factor in the promiscuous lifestyle that's promoted on the social media and mainstream media. You gotta factor in that religion has been retracted from this country, so people's fundamental ethics is not even on point. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a lot of things, man, that make me don't want to ever get married and have kids. And we also got to factor in child support, alimony, and so on and so on. You know what I mean?
Well, we talked about all of that stuff with the prenups and all of that earlier. So if you, I think I really want to know from a Black man's perspective, because it's really, man, I'm not feeling like, I really am disappointed that your answers leaning towards that, because I want to ask you, you really feel like there are no good young Black women out there? Like, you really, what is your perception from what you've experienced, your dating experience? Like you said, I get it. You said the Latin women are coming at you because the Black women ain't, but does that skew your perception of that there are not any good Black women out there?
No, like, if there is any good Black women out there, they're not headhunting for me. They headhunting for the top 10 percenters, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The 6 foot,
okay, because I want to know, like, where are you going? Where are you going? Places where you think that it's a certain type of Black women are socially.
Listen. I'm over 30 years old. I've lived outside the country. I'm cultured. Like, I'm well experienced, and I've seen a lot, and I've experienced a lot. And I accept this. I'm not like bitter off of this or angry about it, but I'm just not the first draft pick for a Black female. She's gonna holler because I'm 5'9". You know what I mean? I got an athletic build. I make decent dough, but I'm not the type of chick, a Black chick that a young Black attractive chick will seek for. She gonna holler at a dude that's 6'5", 6'1", that makes over 100 grand. And I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that because
those numbers are very low. So those numbers in reality are very low. So if Black women are going after the majority of these men, their chances of finding husbands and men in those statures are slim to none for them. So I think that's a little bit of delusion on these young Black women that are doing that, because what are these Black men? You're talking the whole 6-figure, 6-pack, 6 feet type of thing. Like, literally, you're telling me that the majority of the Black women are going for those small percentage of men.
Yes.
Wow.
And they believe that they can.
I think it was O.J. Keach, they call it the 80-20 rule. Say 80% of the women are going after the top 20% of men.
And this is true, man. I'm a living testimony of it.
Which makes their chances less. Oh my God! Like,
that's why the competition is so high. The competition is so high because it's
we don't complain about it. We just deal with it. You know what I mean? We just step our game up. You know what I mean?
And listen, and I get it, because if these women are truly not choosing men like you, then I understand why men like you go outside. And if it's the reverse for certain African American women, then I understand why they go outside, because they can't find that particular guy in a Black man, so they go for the particular guy in a man of another race.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's what's going on. Except for they have a better chance of, well, I won't say marriage. They have a better chance of having some type of physical relationship with a man of another color. It's easier for her to have that physical relationship than with the man on this end. The man has to do a lot more work to get into a relationship with a woman of another race. And then especially the long-term relationship is really going to be a lot more work. But the Black women, usually a lot of times it's not as it's easier for them to get into the relationship. The marriage part, that's what gets a little tougher for Black women. It gets a little tougher for them on that one.
Yeah, I was going to say that's another disparity, in the Black community. Unfortunately, it seems to be delusions of grandeur there. A lot of delusions of grandeur, right? Wow. Yeah. Okay. I appreciate you answering the question. And
then watch this, Patrice. Watch this. So I'm a nerd all the way through school. but maybe I'm good at computers or I'm good at business or something like that. So black women just did not give me no play, right? Only ones that give me play was the Latins or the white sisters, right? So then when we get when I get graduate college, still even through college, they looked at me as a nerd. They really didn't have nothing to do with me. After I graduate college and I start making me some get a real serious bag on me, I just go with what I've been going when I've been dealing with all through high school and all through college was white women, right? I marry a white woman now. They're gonna say, "Oh, he think he's better than us because he marrying a white woman." When they never was giving us no play in the
But
first place, right?
they shouldn't get mad, and even vice versa with the men. If you wasn't choosing the black women, and they realizing that for every black man, it's five of them to one of you all, their chances is slim, and then it's even slimmer if they choosing the upper echelon of what is quote unquote the six-figure guy. Like, it lessens their chances, so then now they have to go outside. So it's like nobody should be mad at nobody.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, they should because I remember a lot of times in ministry they'll say, well, these black women go and get white husbands or white boyfriends or whatever. But if the woman has not been able to find a black man, she dated a couple black men, and she hasn't been able to find one that actually care about her the way she wants to, and then here comes a white boy that says, "Hey, I care about you like you want me to." I mean, what you gonna say? Don't fall in love. Don't be in love with the man just because of the suit he came in. Nah, you know what I mean. If you love somebody and if they're gonna love you, they're gonna treat you right. Hey, I say go for it. I say go for it. That's me. Go for it because life is too short to be like, oh, I'm only gonna date these type of women, but these women keep dogging me. I'm gonna just keep on getting dogged because at least they're the right color. No, forget that.
Right.
Same thing with the men.
Yeah, and that works both ways,
Right,
women
exactly.
and men. I mean, if a woman is feeling like she getting treated a certain way by a sector of black men, and then now she start dating a Hispanic man, or she start dating a Caucasian man, or she start dating a whatever other race of men. I mean, so at the end of the day, why one should get mad at the other based off of their experiences of them dating outside?
The only thing I will say
Yeah,
about
but that's not the major problem. The major problem is this uh promiscuous lifestyle that's being promoted online and mainstream media. That's one of the main reasons why I don't believe in marriage, because it's just so heavily being indoctrinated into these young females' state of mind. You know, nobody's
so
safe. There's
okay,
no
brother
man
Rush.
in my generation. No man is safe. Your chick is for the streets, man. I'm sorry to
Okay,
say.
brother Rush. Let me ask you a question, brother. Let me ask you a question. What is your greatest fear about actually getting married to a woman? What is your
Well,
greatest fear?
well, it's not fair. It's what's the probability was going to happen.
Okay.
You married a chick. There's a 50% chance that the kids you have with her might not be yours.
Okay.
It's a 75% chance that she will divorce you and take you to the cleaners, and it's a
Right.
100% chance that she will defeat you in the courts to become a custodial parent over you. This
I would
is
say
an L
95.
on the
But
line
isn't
on
that the
everything.
case with all women, regardless of race?
Oh yeah, that's all women. Listen. Listen. OG, OG practice.
Patrice.
Patrice.
OG Patrice. Listen, I'm not the yo. Listen, I'm not the type of man that's like, oh yo, all black women are evil, and no.
No,
I'm
no,
not that
no, no,
dude.
no, not at all. I didn't get that from you. I just,
Yeah,
I didn't hear you say, regardless. I didn't hear you say women as in general.
Yeah. Women in general, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, or whatever, they all do the same shit, And it's not because, you know, it it's not because of, their parents failed them. It's because what's being promoted daily in and out into their daily practice, and that's promiscuity. You know.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm saying your thing is I wouldn't marry because I would be weary of the fact that the woman would get into another sexual relationship while still in the marriage. Is that right?
Um. Yeah. They're for the streets, man. They're all for the streets.
All of them, Brother Rush?
I just can't. Not all. Please don't not all. Have some hope and faith, Brother Rush. Okay, not all. Not all.
Listen. If I grew up in your generation, I would have a different state of mind. There's no hope for my generation, you know.
Don't say that, Brother Rush. It's hope. It's always hope. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
You know what it is,
I don't know,
Rush?
man. I'm a realist, you know.
I know you've seen a lot,
I
brother.
go by probabilities and
I know
numbers.
you've seen a lot on them streets, brother. I know you've seen a lot. But there are some women. There are some really good black women out there, brother. And but there are like jewels. They're hard to find. A lot of digging, a lot of work needs to go into finding them because they're not everywhere. You know what I mean? So it is some out there, man. So it depends on you and what you want. Like right now, your goals are, hey, I'm just trying to live my life. Okay, live your life, brother. But if you ever get you do ever get interested in seeking, just know there's some out there, but they ain't walking around like the rest of like the ones you talk about with the promiscuity and all that.
Well, Clarence, I'm completely happy for what I'm doing now. I listen, the kind of females I get, man, they're really attractive, man.
Right on.
I have a lot of fun.
Good.
There's no complaints on my side.
Good, man. Good. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, you still in that having fun, ain't trying to be serious stage too at the same time. So that's,
we
have
I wouldn't say that, OG. I wouldn't say that. I'm just a realist. I know what it is, and I'm just dealing with what my reality is, and my reality shows that all these women are for the streets, and there's nothing wrong with that.
But I think too. I think that I think sometimes men and women need to put themselves in certain settings and positions. Not do normal things that you usually do where you're seeing those type of women that you're talking about. There has to be some other type of social platforms or social settings or social events where there's a different climate of women.
No, let me tell you why. Like on my beliefs and standpoints, right? And what I've discovered throughout my years of becoming a productive adult in society is that religion and ethical choices. These women they're not on the same state of mind as me. You know what I mean? And if I were to be like, hey, listen, you're not just a black woman, but you're considered the elect. That broad will look at me crazy, man. You can't have those real conversations with these women, man. Not in my generation.
I still think it has a lot to do with your social settings and where you putting yourself in spaces. I really do.
No. I deal with retired cops. I'm in law enforcement. Right. I'm in the OT program, becoming an occupational therapist, which is a bootleg doctor. So I'm around well-rounded people, man. It's just
what about certain type of social clubs or social groups or types, what I mean?
My social gatherings, it's mostly in the Latin community. I came in front, You know, I might go to Casa Colombia, get me a
But then
cubeta.
surely it's got
You
to
know what
be
I
some
mean?
type of woman like that in where you're at. Surely, even if
No,
she's not a black woman, a Latin woman is still considered a woman of color. So you mean to tell me
no,
where you're at
no,
now,
no,
there aren't
no,
any
no.
women even
I
in those type of
disagree.
social settings in
I
the Latin
disagree.
community?
I disagree. If she's not a black
Afro
Latina,
Latina, Afro
she's not a,
Latina is.
you know,
Oh, they're
it's
not
not.
Afro Latina.
I mean, some are, some not, but majority are the indigenous looking type people I be around. You know what I mean? You know?
Okay. Uh huh. I hear you. I'm just even in that community. I mean, it sounded like you're saying nowhere you are the type of woman that
But
So you don't. And let me ask you
even
this, because you say
even if I were
you
to
came
hold
to
on,
a certain.
let me say this. Even if I were to link up with a black female, she's not ready for the kind of knowledge and wisdom I have for her. She's just gonna dismiss it. She's not ready for that.
Okay.
Even in a black woman in the 40s, she's not ready for that kind of wisdom. You know what I mean? She rather stay asleep. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm not gonna stress myself. You know what I mean?
Right. So you're saying even in your setting now, the women mindsets is just not trying to be open to uh to elevating and grow with you in that type of mindset. So that's the type of woman. What I'm hearing is the type of woman you want to be her to be open to learning and to grow with you in the knowledge that you have come to find. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And whatever that is, and wherever you discovered it at or found it, there's no women in those environments.
No, ma'am. Not ready for like. No disrespect, but I'm not gonna even like. You know what? I'm not even gonna ask your age, but like
I'm older. I
I'm
don't
just
mind.
gonna.
I mean, I'm a boomer, so you can imagine I'm over 50. you know?
Right, right. So that just shows you like what like if I could find a boomer that was raised in her 20s age, that'd be perfect for
Okay.
me. Like
Got you.
you. You know what
Got
I'm saying? But
Right.
there's not
Got you.
many women like you out there. You know what I'm
The
saying?
mindset.
They
Yeah,
all got
I get
hot
you.
girl
It's the
summer type
mindset.
thing.
It's the
Yeah.
mindset. And it's not just even like you said in the knowledge of self that you've come to discover about whatever the truths are for you. I hear men, in these spaces also say that they have a problem finding the right woman to kind of get on their program with how they want to like build together. I even have hear men say that they have a problem with the women getting on their program with how to like build together because of the independent boss chick type of mindset.
But that's not me though. I've accept it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just gonna have my fun and do my thing. You know what I mean? Because I already know what time it is. You know what I mean? Like
And
I'm
how
not
old did
gonna
you say you were, Rush? May I ask again, how old are you?
I'm 36.
36. Okay, and I understand it's more detrimental for a woman that's 36 than a man, because for a woman, especially a woman that want a child, now her biological clock is ticking. Once she's over 35, she's considered high risk if she do try to have a child. If she wants to get married, she's already in that, what they are saying out here in these streets, but I don't like to use it, are hitting a wall or have hit a wall or whatever, which I don't necessarily buy into that, but that's what I hear men say. But for women, that are in that stage, it's different from men that are in that stage. But you realize as you get older too, things change for you. Things start to slow down for you. So at what point, in your life, do you think you would be ready to like make that transition of maturity? Say, hey, I'm getting older. I can't continue
Uh,
to just be
uh,
out here doing what I'm doing either and
listen,
having fun. Because
listen.
let's be real, life is at some point the fun it's got to slow
That,
down.
that's the thing, Patrice. Like I'm not looking for that. I've accepted my fate. You know, I don't have a problem being alone. You know, it's more peaceful being alone at the end. You know, like,
And that really saddens me to hear a black man say that. Like that really, wow.
no,
Like
no, don't feel sad for me.
no, I
I
mean,
mean,
I don't mean like sad, like I'm
The
sad,
guys
but
that get
I
married
mean
is,
like a sad state of affairs, sad
hold on. Let me say
of
this.
where our community is. You know what I mean? Where men are
No. It's
saying,
not
I'm
just.
prepared to be alone, and I'm hearing women in the spaces saying, I'm prepared to be alone and die alone and get a dog and some cats.
Not, but see the difference between the women and me. Like, I'm good. Like, I really mean that shit. A woman, they're not built to be alone like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Honestly, I think men aren't first either, because you were created first and we were created to be your help meet. We're a part of your rib. It was not naturally meant for man and woman to be alone, and man was created first according to God's law. So it is not natural. That is not the natural way of things. And when things are not in its natural order, then it's going to always be a problem, right?
yeah, but in Proverbs, King Solomon said it's better to be alone than be married to a nagging wife, because it's like, I'm paraphrasing. This is not verbatim, but she's like decay to your bones. You know what I mean? That's like painful,
Well,
man.
I agree that it's better to be alone than to be with the wrong person. But that is the reason why we try to vet, find a mate, choose the right person that fits within our confounds of what we're looking for. Is that not true? But I'm saying it's unnatural for a man to say that he would be okay with being alone, just the same way it is a woman. That is not the natural order of things, is what I'm saying. And that within itself creates a problem when men and women say that.
Hold on. It is a natural thing for a male to be alone. Like me, right? I don't need the nicest crib to live in. I'm good with one flat screen and a twin size bed. You know what I mean? But a female, she needs all.
I get it, because you're logical. I get it. I get that.
Let me finish real quick. A female, she needs all kind of shit to feel completed in her crib. Me, I'm happy. I'm at Zen, and I'm grateful for a twin size bed and a flat screen TV. As long as my bills is paid, I got a fat bank account. I'm good. Like, I don't need no other shit. You know what I mean?
But you're saying that now, but I honestly think your perspective will change in another 5 years. I really do.
No, it's not. And
I really think your mindset may change once you hit 40.
You can't. No. No, here's the thing. And most females can't fathom this because they can't do it themselves. But most dudes, they're content with the littlest shit. Like me. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying about the littlest shit. I'm talking about the being alone part. I think your perspective will change maybe when you hit 40. It usually happens for men older, when they're older than they do women.
Let me ask you a question. What is intimacy?
I'm sorry, what's that?
What is intimacy?
It depends on the person. It depends on what intimacy means to each individual person.
Okay, well, let me say
everybody are different, and everybody have different forms of their love language and what intimacy is to them.
Here's the thing. A lot of people have a misunderstanding or a misperception of intimacy. Intimacy is not just a romantic thing. Just as long I have a community around me, good friends around me to converse with me, because we are social creatures, I'll be fine. I don't need to be in a marriage or a bootleg relationship just cause,
So you're saying you don't need to, are you saying you don't need the intimacy?
That's the thing. You see,
because the human nature, I would think would.
Patrice, your perception of intimacy is a romantic thing. Intimacy is not just a romantic thing.
No, no,
Having
no.
having,
No, no. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I asked you. I said, so because you said you have all this community around you, I'm saying to you, so is that in the intimacy for you? You could be satisfied with living that life the rest of your life and be content with that.
yes, yes, I'll be fine with that.
I'm with you, Patrice. I think about 10 more years he'll be like, you know
Just
what?
said that.
I need that. I think at 45, Brother Rush will probably start looking around and say, you know what? It wouldn't be nothing bad to have somebody smelling good walking around here in a nice little dress. You know what I mean? Somebody making me breakfast, making me dinner, making me lunch. Not bad. It might work. You know what I mean? I think Brother Rush is having a good time, so he can't see the forest for the trees. So I say, hey, ride it until the wheels fall off. You know what I mean? But I think at some point he's gonna say, hey, there's so many women out here. You know what? Let me get one of these. Let me get one of the cream of the crop here and bring her in here. I think so.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I mean, hey, anything's possible, But how I'm feeling now, man, I'm good, man. I'm pretty
yeah,
content. You know.
it's hard because you're a good brother, man. So good brothers, it's hard. You can only run so long, brother. You're only gonna be able to run so long, and then boop, you're gonna be gone. I step down.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but you know what,
Oh,
man?
okay, okay, Sister Patrice, I got you.
That
OG Patrice, thank you for showing up. Appreciate you. I know you gotta go. You got some things you gotta do. So
Yeah,
please.
no problem, brother Rush. It was nice talking to you, but come back and see me in 10 years. I think you're gonna have a different mindset, bro. Take it easy,
I'm
brother
out,
Clarence, and shout out to your chat.
See you later. Thank you, Sister Patrice, as
All
always.
right.
Appreciate you. Yeah, brother Rush. I think but hey, like I say, man, hey, ride. I tell my son the same thing, brother. Ride it until the wheels fall off, man. You know what I'm saying? If you having a good time, don't let me push you off the train. You know what I'm saying? You stay on the train as long as you can. But when you decide to get off the train, might want to come back and see me, brother. I'll help you try to because let me ask you a question. If you was to marry or think about having a long term relationship with a woman, what would be like something you would have to be included in the deal? What is something that she would have to bring to the table for you?
First she would have to be a virgin.
Okay.
Two, she would have to take the whole religious lifestyle aspect on a serious level, like really living in a consecrated lifestyle.
Okay.
But all these things that I'm mentioning right now, it's all hypothetical. It's not even real. Like I already accepted for what life has to offer when it comes to these 304s.
Okay. So how would you go about trying to find a virgin, brother?
Um, yo, yo, man, that's like impossible. Like I would probably have to go to Sudan or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
literally go to Sudan and go head hunting or some shit like that. But I'm not
Right.
doing all that. You know, this is all hypothetical speaking.
Yeah,
What,
man.
what, what
Yeah.
would it take for
Yeah.
me to really lock down a female? And I told you, she would have to be a virgin and she would have to live a consecrated lifestyle. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I just I hear you, Brian, because based on those that level of what you have to have, it's gonna be hard to do that in America. You're right.
Right, right, and that's
Just
why
having
I'm not. That's why it's hypothetical. It's not
yeah.
a real thing that would happen in reality. Because you know, majority of the females are already ran through by the age of 12. You know,
Yeah.
sad to say,
Yeah.
they lose their
Yeah.
virginities probably at the age of 9. They're sexually active in their teens.
Yeah.
And by the time they hit their 20s, they're a slut, you know?
Yeah.
And these guys are really married, wifing these girls up. And it's like, yo, B, she for the streets. You know what I mean?
That's why I always tell women, you know, that they need to do a cleanse before they, you know, get out of, especially if they've been letting the guy run raw on them. You need to do a cleanse, a total cellular cleanse, to get all of everything out of the other guys out of you, because you can't go back. You can't turn back.
But Clarence, it's not that simple, man. What about the spirits that the nigga carries with him? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying, brother. You gotta,
man.
but that's what I'm saying. The fasting and the cleansing will help to remove that stuff. It will help to remove all of that out of the way.
Unless she meets a priest that has the authority to practice, what's that thing called? Exorcism?
Exorcism?
No, not exorcism, but yeah, pretty much like retract unclean spirits from the individual's body.
Yeah, exorcism.
Then then you bad news for the next man. Why would the next man marry you? You know?
Well, that's what I'm saying, brother. The spirits that you're talking about are being kept by the woman, because the woman has those other men DNA. Their DNA.
You're talking about, okay, DNA. We're dealing on a scientific level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That not scientific level, but a scientific perspective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yes. The remnants of semen do remain inside the female. You know what I mean? Right. And and this possibility that a female could have what's the word I'm looking for? There's a word where I forgot the name of the word, but it's like one like if they have paternal twins, like the paternal twins won't be their bloodline wouldn't derive into one father. It'll be two fathers, but still they're paternal twins.
Heard of that one.
I forgot the name of it, but that's what Genesis speaks about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have never seen that one happen, but I'm sure it's possible.
How the serpent beguiled Eve?
Yeah, but what I'm saying.
Some say Cain is the first reptilian that was born, the first Nephilim. You know what I mean?
I hear you, brother. I hear you. But I'm strictly talking mathematics. I hear you, because there's a lot of different ways to go with it, but I'm strictly talking to mathematics. Okay? So follow me with the mathematics. Okay. If a woman has had, let's say by the time she turns 22, she's probably had at least about 6 or 7 partners, right?
Nah, way more than that.
Way more. How many would you throw at her?
Yo, 20 bodies, easy, bro.
Oh, come on, brother Rush. By the time you're 22,
man, I'm telling you, man.
No.
If you're shocked by that,
they got too much oversight.
You don't know what's going on in these streets out here, man.
No, they don't really start
burning. What's going on in these streets out here?
they're not really burning it up, man, until they get out of their house.
And yo, 20 bodies is light for me to say, my nigga. My bad, pardon me with the N-word. But
it's all right, brother. That's all right.
We just had a real moment right here, man.
Yeah, man. No, not a problem, brother. Hey, but see here, brother Rush, look. Because okay, I'm gonna give you 20 bodies, man. I'm gonna give you 20 bodies. We're 22. Yeah. She's 22 years old and she got her 20 bodies. Okay. Now, do you think we talking just math? Do you think that, let's say, half of those dudes ran raw, so that's 10 sets of essence that's in her, right?
I would say all dudes went in that raw, man.
You want to go that far? Okay,
yeah.
Let's say everybody
so if
went
all
raw.
20 dudes went in raw, she has about at least 2 or 3 kids.
Oh
No,
boy,
seriously,
man.
man. This is the
Oh
yo.
boy.
This is
Come
my
on,
reality
man.
with my
Come on, man.
generation, man.
Come
That's
on,
my
man.
reality.
20
You know what I
bodies
mean?
and 3 kids at
Yeah,
22? I
yeah,
actually
22,
saw that
man.
one time, brother. I saw that one time. It was a very ugly situation, man. I remember one time, brother, I used to work in downtown LA, and so I would catch the train. I'm like, why am I gonna drive my car all the way in the train and drop me off like across the street? So I used to catch the train down there, man. So caught the train down there, and so I'm on my way back home, and this sister, man, had 2 children and one in her belly, and she had to be no more than about 20 years old, man. And I had a seat next to me on the train, but she wouldn't sit down because she thought she was looking at me like she thought I was gonna try to talk to her. And I was like, why would I talk to you? You got a baby and you got 2 babies with you. She had a friend with her. She had a baby, her friend had one of her babies, and she had a baby in her stomach. And I was like, this girl is crazy, man. And as soon as I heard her talking, I knew why she was by herself. But my point is, I've seen that. So it's possible. What you're saying is possible. But let's just take that for example. Okay, let's say you got 20 bodies on you, got 3 children. By how many different dudes, Brother Rush?
3.
Okay, you got 3 different baby daddies. Okay, now
You
I
off
don't think
rip,
the
you're not a
average.
good candidate. Off rip,
Yeah,
you're
I
not
don't
a
think
good
the average
candidate.
dude. You gotta give up something, man. Because I'm talking about a dude.
No, no, no,
I'm
no, no,
talking
no,
about.
no, 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 no. Let's not change nothing. Because Clarence, we
Okay,
gotta understand the simps out here, they 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 they
they going for that.
um they go for that. You know what I mean?
Okay. 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 Well, let's leave it all on the table. Okay. So the mathematics of it is this. Okay. So she has the 3 babies by 3 different dudes. Plus, she has been ran raw in with the 20 dudes. Right
Yes,
now,
yes.
she got all this essence of men in her. Right. Of course, it's why you look at her and she's always confused all the time. Why? Because her body is reacting to all these different instructions that this DNA is giving her. She got male DNA in her body, giving her body instructions. So her body has to deal with that in some type of way. This is going to cause confusion, especially her body is only set up to deal with one set of DNA at a time. So now you're dealing with all these extra sets of DNA. That's going to cause confusion, and it's going to put hormones in the body that's unnecessary, like testosterone, right? Because it's male DNA, the body's going to say, well, let me try and put some testosterone out there. So the body's going to be trying to deal with this stuff by releasing hormones and different things. That is going to be a problem. That's why that's going to create confusion. That's why I say clean all that stuff out. Then the confusion will go away. Then now you have a better chance of actually impregnating her, having her have a cleaner body, and having her get on your program. A lot of these women don't get on your program because they have so much premarital sex, brother, that they just have so much essence of other men in them that's causing confusion. Because remember, the body is just a big chemical factory, electrical and chemical factory. You know, it just reacts to what's in the body. You get a germ in your body, your body doesn't tell you got a germ; it just reacts, and then you find out later. Oh, that's why I was coughing. That's why I was sneezing. This and this. So that's what I'm saying. It reacts the same way with all these different DNAs in her system. Now, would you agree that that would be a better situation for her to get all that stuff cleaned out instead of trying to just go? Or would it be better? Because I think that's the reason why a lot of these relationships aren't working, because these women have so much masculine DNA in their system. It drives them to a masculine place. It makes them release testosterone, and it keeps them in a masculine framework. What say you, brother?
Um, I would say, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly, brother.
I would say that, well, one, I'm not too sure if women receive testosterone from receiving the remnants of the semen of a male. I'm not too sure. I got to do research on that.
Okay.
But I would say that on a spiritual level, because of, put it like this, right? If you're a dude, right, you smash mad chicks, and you you just smashing mad chicks, and you receiving all the spirits from these mad chicks, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you're a dude that probably got 150 demons in him, right?
Mm-hmm.
By you sleeping with that chick, now that gives those demons that you slept with that chick authority to oppress her lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just off like I like you, like with all those spirits that's living within that individual, obviously she's gonna have a reprimated, what's the word? Reprimated? A reprobated mindset.
Reprobated.
Yeah, reprobated.
Reprobated.
Yeah, reprobated mindset. You know what I mean? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
just not gonna be on point. She's always gonna be indecisive, and she's gonna be always irrational, because, and this is why scientifically they say, like, yo, a chick that sleeps around, psychologically it messes with her mind, because she's not designed to sleep around like that. So
Yes,
if a
sir.
chick sleep around like that, it's gonna mess with her psychologically. So therefore, the more partners that she have, the harder it is for her to pair bond with one individual. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
sir. Yes,
And
sir.
and that's why that's why I'm not quick to wife up a chick, because I know I know from the age of 12 and all the way up to her 20s, she's been sucking and fucking, man. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
And and,
yeah,
and I take it for what it is, man. I ain't mad. I ain't gonna force nothing on her. It is what it is, man. You know what I mean?
yeah. I hear you, brother. I hear you. I just, because there's so many women that want to get married, brother, but they don't know how to
But,
go
but,
about it, and they
but
think,
brother Clarence, you know what it
yes,
is,
sir.
man? These women, they're looking for an uneven exchange, man. You know,
Yeah,
they
yes,
want to
they
live
are.
the hot girl summer and expect the man to be traditional, and it's not, it's not,
Yeah,
it's not, it's not, it's not conducive, man. That's not a
yeah,
conducive relationship. You know what I mean?
yeah, brother. Yeah, but why? Why do they expect that it should be so one sided, brother? Why do they think that way? Why wouldn't they
Well,
want to say?
they think
Go
that
ahead,
way
brother.
because of the feminist movement, man. The
Ah,
leftist
okay,
feminist movement.
okay.
This is what they preach, and this is what their ideology um tells them to do. You can have it all. You could be the Wonder Woman and be hot girl summer and
Right.
have a traditional husband and a
Yeah.
traditional family.
So
And it's like, yo, nah, it don't work like that.
so what will be a solution to the problem of the women getting so caught up in this premis, prim, uh, promiscuous lifestyle so early?
Well,
What would be the
one
solution to that?
their parents, they have to come from a nuclear family.
Okay.
Their parents will have to have some sort of religious background that teach them the fundamental of ethics. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Because a lot of these chicks, they move really unethical, man. Straight up. I ain't even gonna
Agreed.
sugarcoat it, man. You
Agreed.
know?
Yeah.
And half the stuff these females be doing, man, I'd be like it makes me want to like throw up, man. It makes me want to vomit, man. Straight up, man. You expect me to wife you up? Come on, man.
Yeah.
You a slut. You know what I mean? Fuck out of here. You know?
Yeah.
But that's a different topic for another show, man.
Right.
But yo,
Okay.
here's the thing, man. Yo, if females will be raised in a nuclear family, raised with the proper religion, I don't care if it's Islam, Christianity, or whatever, just as long
Right.
it teaches them the fundamentals of ethics,
Right.
and not be promiscuous and not lose their virginity at the age of 11 and 12, then you might have a chance to be a decent wife. But if you've been sexually active since the age of 12 and all the way up to your 40s, man, like yo, you're done. It's a
Yeah.
wrap. Stick a fork in her. She belongs in the streets, man. You know what I mean?
Oh man, brother, you don't think that? Okay, we both believe, I think, in the Bible, correct? We both believe in that book, right?
Right. I believe in a
Okay.
great. I call it the sword. I don't call it the Bible. I call it the sword. You know what I mean?
Okay, the sword. We both believe in the sword. Okay, and but for those listening to us, we're referring to the book called the Bible. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
don't you agree that that book, the basis for the book is redemption, brother? To redeem a person can be redeemed, even a female.
Man, I'm gonna. It's, I don't want to sound like an
Tough one, huh,
asshole,
man?
man, but
That's a tough
yo,
one, brother.
the scriptures is pretty. Yo, they one thing about the scriptures, man, it keeps it a buck, man, and especially when it comes to women, man.
Yeah, it's
You know
hard
what I
on, man.
mean?
It's hard on.
It's pretty hard on the females, man. And like, yo, if a female's not moving accordingly, yo, the Most High don't want you to even want you to deal with them, man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
First they gotta serve the Most High, live a consecrated lifestyle, be submissive, and then follow your blueprint, man. And
Right.
in this day and age, a woman don't believe, and it's cool. You ain't gotta subscribe to that. But
Right.
don't expect the nigga to marry you though.
Right.
If you
Exactly.
don't
Exactly.
subscribe to that. You know what I mean? But it's cool though. Do you. I'm
Right.
good. I'm
Yeah.
good. I already know what time it is, man. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. 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 I mean, I think it's tough for a lot of men, man, because like you said, it's, almost any woman you get with, man, she's gonna probably have had at least 10 or 12 partners. So it's,
Nah, man.
they're gonna be able.
The average is 20 bodies, man.
Come on, brother Russ.
And
Come
yo,
on, you
yo,
gonna put
and that's just the bodies that she remembers.
that.
We're not including
You're
we're
right,
not
man, because
including
they always
we're
have.
not
You're right.
including the one night stands,
Yeah, they always got the dudes that they say this
you
one don't count,
know,
right? They throw that
the
one out,
trips to Vegas, the trips to the strip
right?
clubs. And let me tell you, fam,
Yeah,
yo,
yeah,
any
yeah,
dude out there, yo, if your girl goes to the strip club,
yeah,
break up with her.
yeah, man. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
telling you this
yeah,
now, man, because they go
yeah.
down in the strip club, man. You know what I
You're right.
mean? You be
You're
thinking
right,
you
brother.
getting wild and freaky with it when you dealing with these strippers, man. Man, I'm telling you, if you
Yeah,
find out your girl go to the strip club, you better, you better dump a nigga. Cause I'm
yeah,
telling you right now,
yeah, man.
man, it's not good for you. You're
Yeah, a woman that's that wild, man. It's just gonna be nothing but problems, man. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one, brother. Well, brother Rush, man, let's shut this down, man, because it's getting kind of late, man, and I want to finish this conversation later with you, brother, because in particular, because you have a unique vision of the situation. So I'm a if you can pass me a way to contact you, brother, email or something, man, in the private chat, and then
yeah. You know what, man? I'll leave you my Instagram and cell phone number. That's good for you, man.
okay, yeah, that's good. Let's do that,
Yeah, yeah.
and then
Just just hit me up whenever, man.
okay, thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Because yeah, I want you to come back and expound on what you was talking about. Because I think it's important. We trying to make some solutions here where people could actually get together. And I know you living you going 100 miles an hour, so you stay on that train, brother. But I mean, there's dudes that's just getting off the train and they saying, man, okay, now I've done that, I've been there, I've done that. Now what? Now what? Now what? I'm trying to let me see if I can find somebody to walk down this aisle with. So we want to, just give everybody some good advice, brother. So if you don't mind, man, yeah, leave me that information in the private chat, and then we will close this out, brother. All right.
All right, brother Clarence, man. It was listen, man. This was definitely a dope subject matter you had going on. I wish we could have talked about the 12 tribe of Israel, but you was on the relationship type joint, man. And listen, man, we need more elders like you out here, man, preaching the truth, man.
I appreciate you.
We are the
I'll bring you back, brother. You want to talk about the 12 tribes, man? I could bring you back, brother. We can talk about it, man. See, one thing, I don't judge nobody. I don't talk about it. I don't do nothing, brother. I want to hear your side of it. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want to do is hear your side of it, man, and expose what you're saying to everybody. And so, because some people might dig it, some people might not, but hey, let's let everybody listen. We can't be scared of, oh, he this, so I can't talk to him. Oh, he do this, he's down with this person. No, man. Well, I don't do that here, brother. I'm open to everybody. You know what I mean? So, and whatever you got to say that may be of some value to someone, hey, let's talk about it, brother. But first, I'm gonna bring you back to talk about these women. That's what I'm gonna do, brother, because you got a unique vision of it. So I want to bring you back, man. Maybe about a week or so. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good, brother. Just hit me up, man. Yo, man, definitely a dope channel. You know what I mean? I'm glad Chaotic Truth linked us up. You know what I mean? They connect us up. They connect us like Voltron. You know what I mean? I like this, man. And
yeah, I
salute
you,
to you and your channel, man. We need more elders like you, man. You heard?
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. It means a lot coming from you, brother. Appreciate you, man. So I'm gonna get with you later, man. I'm gonna take you down, and then I'm gonna close it out, brother.
All right, brother Clarence. Later.
Peace to you, brother Rush. God stay with you, brother. All right, that was brother Rush. What y'all think? Holy smokes! Holy smokes! Did he hit it out of the park? Ouch! Did he hit it out of the park? What about OG Patrice? She came in. She stood tall too. Hey, Raz girl, I see you back in here. Man, everybody did a great job tonight, just like yesterday. God is good. God is good. I'm gonna have to bring Brother Rush back. Brother Rush, Brother Rush is he's a different kind of dude. I'm gonna bring him back, man, and I'm gonna talk to him. Actually, he's not a different kind of dude. He's his own dude, but he's got a different viewpoint on how we should do stuff and how we should get things done. So I respect that about him, and I want him to. I want to be able to have him come back, because I think if I had more people in the chat, they would be able to dialogue with him better. Brass girl and Brother Clarence, wonderful discussion. Thank you, Sister Raz girl. Appreciate you. I know you guys got other stuff to do, so I don't expect everybody to hang around the whole night, but I appreciate y'all for dropping in and stopping by. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna bring your brother Rush back, and we're gonna have him actually expound, because I didn't know how intelligent he was. We got into it on Chaotic Truth, but the brother's very intelligent, well spoken. So I'm gonna bring him back, and we're gonna have him come up and start talking about some girls, and how the brothers can do better. Even though he's living his lifestyle, he can at least tell us how to look out for some of these traps. Sister Raz girl, I wish I could have talked to you, because you always have interesting points too. But I know one of these days I'll get you up here. One of these days I'll get you up here, sis. But anyway, I'm gonna close it down now. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. And like I said, I'm gonna be putting out. I got a channel coming up, and I'm gonna be putting it out probably by the end of this month. Just gonna be just for relationships. So y'all check that out. All right, Sister Raz girl. I'll see you later. Peace. I'll see y'all in the streams. See y'all. Peace.